Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So, today is day 3 of our Wicked World of Wade Wilson weekend. We have been going through, you guys know, going through the trial, and it's going to go beyond the weekend. I'm not sure, how the title might change, but it's going to have to go beyond the weekend. Today is a big day, though. First, we have Dr. Hernandez, the Lee County medical examiner, who's going to go over Christine's autopsy. Then we have Mila. And I'm trying to debate if I want to show Mila's police interview after her testimony. I'm not sure. So if you guys have thoughts on that, please let me know. I would love to hear what you think. And also, we're going to start something new here, just a quick segment at the beginning of the lives that we're going to call the comment section. And I just want to point out a few comments from replay viewers. Today we just have 3 or 4. In the future that may vary, but we're going to just kind of look at the comments and see what you guys have to say, because I love to hear from you, and I thought that would be a nice way to start. So let's see. Share. Okay, so the first one is from Katie. Let's see here. Turn off my Wi-Fi on my phone. Okay, sorry about that. Katie says, in my opinion, Wade, just like Tisha and other psychos, has no end game. They plan for nothing, beginning with stealing a stick that you can't drive. And I love this one. This is what kind of made me think, ooh, I should do a review of a few comments, because we were talking like, how does someone how would someone think they're going to get away with this? Look at all the things that he's done, how many times he's confessed, just all of the evidence. Why even take it to trial? And what is going through their mind? We just kind of were talking about that. So I think it's interesting, maybe nothing. Maybe that's just it. Hey, you guys. Thank you, Somebody's Cheese. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Red Skies. In the morning, sailors take warning. Good afternoon, Alex. Hope you and your boys have a super fab day. Thank you, Melissa. Hope you have a great day, too. Poor impulse control, right? He's not thinking of tomorrow. He's impulsive and erratic. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Nicole. Adrian, good to see you. I love this idea of going over comments. Shows too respectful and interested you are in your listeners. Oh, thank you, Candace. Yay, I'm glad that you guys like it, because, I don't know. I think I have some of the most brilliant, not just me, Melissa as well, Jen, like Amber, a few of these channels, these, have some of the most brilliant, hilarious, educated commenters. Like, the people that watch are just incredible. And I like to hear from you guys. Oftentimes you have better things to add than I do. So Sandra says, impossible to believe that by watching the trial, all the Wade wives had to say all they had to say was how hot he looked. He is not the only disgusting monster. And it is pretty crazy that, hearing everything we've heard, that people walk away from it thinking about his looks. This comment is one I meant to get, but I didn't screenshot it properly. So then Adam says his dad said he's a good storyteller, which is interesting. He is very charismatic, somewhat obnoxious when you hear the calls. Like last night, listening on Melissa's to him laugh and laugh. It just, he's obnoxious, but I could see that. And also, Adam said, this was funny. I wanted to share this. This is our last comment. We're going to get started. Adam says, his face looks like he fell asleep on a newspaper for a long time. So I thought that was great. Yeah, so let me just see from you guys before we get started, make sure I'm not missing anything important, and then we'll get right into it. Let me know, though, do you want to? Actually, I will do a poll, and you guys answer, do we want to watch Mila's interrogation after her testimony or not, and go ahead to the next witness. So once we get started, I will have that poll up, so make sure you look in the chat for that. And yeah, okay. Hey, Maggie's Nana. Hey, Steph B. Hey, Skadoosh. That is true. I thought that was pretty funny. I hate his laugh. I know. Good morning, Chudda Skidum. Hey, hippie chick. Mila said the same. He tells stories. Interesting. Oh, awesome. Somebody's Chelsea. Thank you. I'm going to start posting actually tonight. I'll have something going up about some of the photos and stuff. But I want to start posting over there more. Fun fact, just quickly, I actually started on TikTok because I was so nervous. I couldn't possibly sit through like a whole long video or a live stream, but I could make myself like get the words out in a 1 to 3 minute video. So, okay. Hey, Carrie Beth. All right, you guys, here we go. Like I said, we have, and at 8, I'm writing down the timestamps that we have each witness. So just so you guys know, yesterday, if there's any witnesses you missed or anything like that, I have them timestamped in the description. You just click the blue where the text is blue and it'll take you right to their part. Okay, so like I said, now we have Dr. Hernandez, the Lee County Medical Examiner. She's going to go over Christine's autopsy. So just... Again, there is a trigger warning up as well. This is probably going to be some of the tougher testimony to hear.
Sure. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Afternoon.
Please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury by telling them your name.
I'm Dr. Noelia Hernandez.
Dr. Hernandez, would you please tell us what is it you do for a living?
I'm an associate medical examiner here in Lee County at the District 1 Medical Examiner's Office.
And what type of background do you have that allows you to be a medical examiner?
I did a bachelor's degree in chemistry at the University of Puerto Rico. Then I did 4-year medical school at the University of Puerto Rico as well. Then I did a residency program in anatomic pathology at NYU. And then I did a forensic pathology fellowship program at the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office.
And how long have you been a medical examiner?
After training, almost 5 years.
Could you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what pathology actually is?
Yes. So pathology is a branch of medicine that studies disease, just like internal medicine is also a branch of medicine.
And what is forensic pathology?
So forensic pathology would be a subspecialty of pathology, just like, for example, cardiology is a subspecialty of internal medicine. And what forensic pathology focuses on is determining the cause and manner of death by examining a dead body, as well as reviewing medical records and whatever information we have to make that determination.
And what is anatomical pathology?
Anatomical pathology is just when you talk about pathology, you have anatomical and clinical. Anatomical focus.
Very brilliant woman, very educated, don't really have much more to say than that. We're just kind of getting through her background before we get into, which is common. They always do that.
This is more on studying disease, like organs. So we do a lot of, for example, when you have a biopsy that would get sent to the lab, that's an anatomic pathologist that looks at that under the microscope. So it's not just doing autopsy, also looking at a lot of slides to diagnose disease as well in any organ.
Now, over the past 5 years that you've actually been a medical examiner, how many autopsies have you performed?
Probably close to 1,400.
Now, in October of 2019, were you an associate medical examiner here in Lee County?
Yes, I was.
And did you have an opportunity to perform the autopsy of a young lady by the name of Christine Melton?
Yes, I did.
In general, could you describe for ladies and gentlemen the jury medical purpose for conducting an autopsy?
So like I was saying, we conduct autopsies to the main reason to determine the cause and manner of death for a decedent, as well as to document deceased injury as well on a dead person.
Please explain, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what exactly the cause of death is.
So the cause of death is the disease, the injury, or a combination of both that causes the death of an individual.
And when you refer to manner of death, what do you mean?
So manner of death is just a classification of how the cause of death came about. So it can be classified as natural, somebody that dies, for example, of age or heart disease. It can be an accident, like, for example, somebody that died in a car accident, suicide when somebody takes their own life, homicide, which is deaths at the hands of another, and undetermined, which is when it could either fit into more than one of those categories, or we don't have enough information to put into any of those categories.
Now, let me draw your attention then to the autopsy of Miss Christine Melton on the 8th of October of 2019. Would you please describe for ladies and gentlemen of the jury how you began conducting the autopsy of Miss Melton?
So when we first received the body, it's sealed and locked in a body bag. So we begin the autopsy by doing an external examination.
Again, just one more warning, it's going to be tough testimony. It's going to be very scientific. Sometimes they don't speak about the person in a very, they don't talk about them in a personal way. It's the body and, things like that. So just because the only reason I want to say that is because I know yesterday one of you guys was like, hey, please let me know. Please warn me before the tough testimony. And I haven't watched it myself. So just knowing that it's a medical examiner and what they do, I just assume that it's going to be tough. But.
Where we document everything on the body, things like height and weight, and the general appearance of the deceased, as well as any injuries or any markings that might be on the body. And we also collect evidence as well while we're doing the external examination.
Please tell us what, if any, injuries that you observed on the body of Miss Christine Melton during that you were conducting the external examination.
She had some small bruises on her neck and the left side of her face, like almost towards her neck, as well as she had some small abrasions, which are kind of, I guess a layman's term would be saying like a scrape or a scratch, as well as some ecchymosis, which is basically like saying a bruise, like when you just bump your hand against something, for example, and like a bruise, that would be an ecchymosis. Scattered, so she had small ones scattered throughout her body, like her torso and her extremities.
Did you notice any damage or injury to her hands?
She had a minute abrasion on her right hand, and she had artificial nails, and so some of the nails on her right hand were broken or like you could only see fragments of the artificial nails.
Wow. Okay. So I don't know why I assumed that they were her real nails. Same concept, it's her trying to defend herself. Wow, I'm surprised by that. And then, just by looking at her, small bruises on her neck, her face, abrasions, and small bruises throughout her body.
Did you have an opportunity to go ahead and photograph all these external injuries that you had just described?
Feel the anger coming on.
Judge, let the record reflect I'm showing defense counsel's previously marked cases number 13A, 13B, 13B.
Jessica, I'm not sure. I guess we'll hear if she was asleep. Jessica says, I thought she was asleep. She must have maybe woken up. Would assume that the broken nails are defensive wounds. Maybe we'll hear differently. So I know that he told his dad she was asleep, but I don't know if that's what. And also, like I said, she could have waken up, but here, I guess. Good point, though. Yeah, no, that's not dumb. Look at him, you guys.
Okay. Dr. Hannen, some previously marked the cases number 13A, 13B, 13C, and 13D. So you take a look at those items, you recognize those.
Yes.
How do you recognize those?
These are photographs that were taken during the external examination and autopsy of Miss Melton.
Okay, so
again,
I don't know what they're going to show. Yesterday, they showed some things that weren't super graphic. Not everything. We could see they were looking at something we couldn't see.
And I could depict Miss Melton when you were conducting the autopsy of her on the 8th of October, 2019.
Yes.
Just say who's cases number 13A, B, C, B, at this time?
Yeah. Be admitted.
Yeah.
Rocco, I agree. You're
Dr.
evil.
Hernandez, I'm showing you State's Exhibit number 13A. Could you please orient, ladies and gentlemen, the jury about the injuries that you are observing in this particular photographs that give you any cause for concern?
So as you can see here, you're looking at the right side of her head, and you can see the upper part of her torso. The number 908-19, that's the number that was assigned to this particular autopsy, to Ms. Melton's case. And then if you look to the, I guess looking straight at it, it would be below the number. There's like a darker bruise on the right side of her neck. I wish I had a pointer, but oh, there you go. So that's the little bruise I was referring to on the right side of her neck.
And when did that indicate to you?
That she had a blunt force injury or bruise on that side.
As we're looking at State's Exhibit number 13B, what are we looking at in this photograph that gave you any cause for concern?
This photograph is the left side of her head, and again, you can also see the rear part of her torso. And in this photograph, the dark, I guess, mark is the best way to describe it in the picture on the between her neck and her shin on the left side. That's the abrasion, or an easier way to describe it could be a scratch or a scrape on the left side. And if you look towards her shin, it's a little bit hard to tell with the glare, but there's like a little pink area right here. That's also a little bruise on the left side of her shin.
Look at him. Look. Okay, I gotta move. Let me see if I can move these closed
Doctor,
captions.
would it assist you
So we
to
can
step
see
down
his
off the
face.
stand and approach the actual shelf and allow yourself to
Because what he's looking at up there on the screen is Christine's face. A bruise on her face.
orient the jury to what exactly it is that you're referring to?
Sure.
Of course, permission. Okay.
The abrasion I was referring to?
Objection, no question.
That's true.
Now, the abrasion that you're referring to in this particular photograph, would you please describe for us what gave you cause for concern in State's Exhibit number 13B? Would you please point to the abrasion that you're referring to? Okay. What gave you any cause for concern as it relates to that particular injury?
You're going to have to speak up louder because there's no microphone over there.
At this point, I was simply documenting all the external injuries that gave me concern that it's an injury and it isn't.
Okay. And because of its location, does that also give you any cause for concern?
Because it's on her neck, it's concerning, given the other findings I found during the autopsy.
What other injury were you pointing out in a particular photograph? You're referring to the bottom of her chin?
Yeah.
And what are we looking at when we're looking at the bottom of her chin?
There's a small bruise right there.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit number 13C that's been entered into evidence. We're looking at this photo.
This picture is after the hands have been cleaned and the fingers have been cut for evidence. So these are the two artificial fingernails that you can see.
I'm going to have her speak up louder if you're going to have up there.
Just please speak up.
Like I was saying, can you hear me?
Okay.
This picture is after the hand has been cleaned and the fingernails have been clipped for collect evidence. What you can hear is these are the two fingers where the artificial nails, as you can see, are missing, and there's only some small fragments of them left over for the nail.
So she's showing the nail, and I don't know if you guys can hear it very well, and the closed captioning won't pick it up because she's so far away. But I'm going to take the banner down for right now, too, so we can watch a little better. We don't need it. I just want you guys to be able to look and see who's testifying. Just for you, like for you guys is the only reason I have it. She said that you could see the fragments of her nails. So they must have kind of almost like shattered or split is the way it kind of sounds to me. curious what you guys think. And don't forget to check out the poll. If you're just listening, doing housework or whatever, I love that. I do that too, watching YouTube. There's a poll in the chat. I really want to, just do what you guys want to do, because I'm good either way. I'm very interested to see your interview, but I can do that at another time if you guys want.
And did these appear to have been broken off?
They appear to be broken up. I can't say when it happened, but they appear to be broken up.
Now, when we were talking about when we talk about some of this discoloration that is reflected here, it says it's in 13B and 13A. Could you tell us a little bit about the discoloration that we're observing in these particular photographs?
So she has a mix of lividity and congestion on her face. So lividity is a post-mortem change that is based on the position that our body is in after the person passed away. So all the blood flows towards the side that you're laying on, and you get this discoloration on face. And you can also get congestion there are certain things that can cause the face to get congested as well. Marked discoloration that you can see, as well as around her eyes, you can see it's more congested.
Harley, it's not the post. Let me just pause this just so you guys know what you're voting on. It's not the post-trial interview. It's her police interview. So that's the only reason I was going to play it. It does fit within the context of her testifying. It's her with police. So, I don't know. Think her again.
Do you know when those particular bruises actually occur?
Oh my gosh. I was playing the other window that I opened with the poll, and it started playing her background again. I'm like, what? Why are they going over this again? No, it was the wrong one. I'm so sorry. Here. So apparently
Well, what I mean is that those have occurred before she died, time of death, or after death?
Somewhere between around the time of death or before. It could be either one.
Thank you, Doctor.
You can return to the stand.
Now we'll be able to hear her again.
Doctor?
Yes, Wolfie, most of them.
The external injuries that you observed and photographed of Miss Melton, after you conducted your external examination, what is your next step in the process?
That's where we do the autopsy, which is what you always see on TV, where we start with the Y-shaped incision. We reflect the skin, and we examine all of the organs. And in this particular case, we actually reflected the skin of the extremities as well to look for injury.
Okay. When we're talking about Y-cut incision, what do you mean?
You start at the shoulders and you go down towards the center of the chest. So that's the top part of the Y, and then you extend it all the way down to inferior part of the abdomen. So that's the Y-shaped incision.
Okay, and when you say we were reflecting skin, that means basically pulling it back and opening up the body. Is that correct?
Correct.
And when you conducted the Y incision on Miss Melton and began the external examination or internal examination of her body, what did you find?
She had hemorrhage on the subcutaneous tissues of her neck, which are the tissues right under the skin. And I could also see hemorrhage over the muscles on her neck. Was the first thing we saw as we were starting the autopsy.
Now, with court's permission, I'd respectfully request the doctor to step down once again and approach the screen. And
Which exhibit do you have?
State's Number 13B, Judge.
Okay.
Oh, geez. I don't like this because we can't hear as well when she steps down.
Doctor, when we're looking here, it's exhibit number 13D. What are we looking at?
This is a picture of the neck from the inside. So the more this area right here, that's the skin that has been reflected towards the top of the head. And these right here, those are the muscles of the anterior leg that have also been reflected upwards as well. So what you can see is there's hemorrhage on most of those muscles on the anterior neck.
I just boosted it. Did it get a little louder for, like, you guys let me know. I boosted it quite a lot, but it can make the quality go down. She's talking about a picture from the inside of the neck.
What we're doing is we're reflecting those muscles layer by layer to see how deep that hemorrhage extends to. And in her case, when we keep reflecting those muscles, we go all the way to the deeper muscles, as well as on the surface of the thyroid gland.
So, Amanda, it's pretty hard for me too, but I'm going to try to recap what she's saying. And I don't think we're going to have too much more. I hope we don't have a lot of this, but it is picking up her closed captioning there. So she's showing the bruising that goes through the muscles and how deep it goes. It's the way I understand it. Look at him watching.
What do you mean when you say that when you began reflecting the muscles, it went deeper?
So we start with the muscles that are more superficial. They start with what's called the sternocleidomastoid muscles, which are the big muscles that are more towards the side right here. And then we start with the next layer on the anterior neck. And once you reflect that, you pull it out, there's another muscle under it. So you keep going deeper into the muscle. That's what I mean.
So she says, you can kind of pick up one layer and it's underneath. It just goes very deep.
Does the deeper the muscle and the deeper the discoloration also correlate to the amount of force necessary to create that kind of injury and trauma? What do you mean in a way?
I can't tell you how much force, but yes, in order to make it go deeper, you would have to be a stronger force or a harder object or force.
So the more pressure, the deeper the damage or deeper the injury. Is that right? And
we want to make the point that he's absolutely brutal. He used so much force. And he is very attentive.
When we're looking at this particular photograph in general, there are a number of dark discolored areas around the neck area
like that
indicate injury. Is that fair to say?
The audio booster.
And that's because the deeper or the more pressure that's used around the neck area, the deeper the injury that's caused. As you return back to the stand, please.
1 second. I want to turn down that booster. It makes the audio terrible quality, choppy, fuzzy, but at least we could hear her just a little bit more. Melissa, that is freaking interesting. Melissa McCoy says, Alex, watch his chest rise and fall, his respiration increasing as he gets into it. No, Diana, don't be sorry. Wolfie not be offended by that. But yeah, no reason to be sorry. Okay, now she's back to the stand.
What other injuries did you see on the interior of Miss Melton?
So when we reflect, and again, it's the same thing, we pull it back, the scalp, which is essentially the skin around your head. There were hemorrhages or contusions on both sides of the scalp. She also had contusions on both lungs. She had a small...
I do not like the audio quality here, you guys. I'm so sorry. Let me exit out of that completely.
Contusion on her transverse colon, which is part of the large bowel that is going horizontal at the upper part of your abdomen.
Okay, hold on a second. I do want to address this. I fixed the audio now. It was the booster had to be all the way off. So she had under her scalp on both sides. I mean, and this is going to get into the
contusions on both lungs,
and then we'll talk.
She had a small contusion on her transverse colon, which is part of the large bowel that is going horizontal at the upper part of your abdomen.
Let's talk about the scalp. You indicated that there was a hemorrhage there as well.
On the
contusion.
There's contusions, yes, on both sides of the scalp.
What does it mean?
It's hemorrhage on the inner surface of the scalp.
how would one get damage to the exterior or interior of the scalp?
So those are consistent with blunt force injuries.
So someone actually striking someone, or the head actually striking something?
It could be either one, yes.
You indicated that there was also damage to the lungs or injury to the lungs.
Yes.
Okay. What damage did you see or injury did you see to the lungs?
So there's hemorrhage on the surface as well as extending slightly into the parenchyma or the inside of the lung. So those are what we call contusions on the lungs, which are also evidence of blunt force injuries.
When we're talking about contusions, is that a fancy word for bruising?
Yes.
So when we're talking,
Hold on, I can't get rid of the closed captioning, but I'm going to move them up in the corner only because there are a lot of people who said, who weren't able to make out every word, and we're very thankful for that, the closed captioning. So let me know if that's a little better.
talking about bruising to the lungs, how much force or pressure would it take in order to do that?
I mean, that's kind of like a hard question to answer. I can't say exactly how much pressure.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that if someone punched you in the lungs pretty hard, that would cause that kind of damage or injury?
If they punch you in the chest, yes, they could do that.
You also indicated that there was damage to the colon area.
Yes.
And would you please describe what injury that you saw there?
Same thing. It was hemorrhage on the surface of the colon, and it's a transverse colon, so it sits towards the top of your abdomen.
And what type of damage did you see there?
That's also a blunt force injury.
And once again, that's actually someone striking you, or you actually striking something. Is that right?
That's right.
Was there any other damage that you saw on the interior of Ms. Melton?
She also had a contusion to her liver and one to her bladder. She had a ruptured cyst in one of her ovaries, but that type of cyst could rupture due to trauma, but it could also rupture due to strenuous exercise and other activities. So I can't say whether or not that was due to the trauma.
Wow.
Let's talk a little about the damage to the bladder. What did you see there?
So similar to where I was explaining in the lungs, it's also hemorrhage on the surface of the bladder, and it extends all the way to the mucosa, which would be the inner surface of the bladder where the urine is held. So it'd be like hemorrhage on the tissues right there.
And would that also be consistent with blunt force trauma?
Yes.
And it relates to the liver. What did you know was trauma to the liver?
So that one would also be blunt force trauma, the contusion to the liver.
So based upon your complete autopsy examination, can you tell, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what your conclusion was in this particular case?
So in this case, based on what I was explaining earlier in the neck, how she had hemorrhage extending from the superficial muscles all the way to the deep muscles, as of the bruises on the outside of her neck. And also she had petechia on one of her eyelids and some petechia on her scalp itself. All of her autopsy findings taken together are consistent with death by asphyxia due to compression of the neck.
You just mentioned petechia of the eye and petechia of the scalp. Can you please describe for ladies and gentlemen of the jury in layman's terms what it means?
So petechia are pinpoint hemorrhage. So they're like a tiny little dot, and they're caused when your venous pressure goes up. So it causes a backup of the blood, and all of that pressure causes your little venules to burst. So you just create this little, like, pinpoint, tiny little hemorrhage.
Tess, if you happen to see anybody in the background that you recognize, can you let us know? Because I think Tess would be able to let us know a little more than I would. Harley mentions that. Who is Wade looking at? Hey, Dead-Eye Danny. Thank you. Candace, what date is this? So I know it's in June of 2024. I don't have the exact date she testified. I could find it. But I do know it's June of last year. Last year. Crazy. Okay. You have a list of all the court transcripts by dates. Oh, hold on. Let me Google it while we keep listening, and I'll let you know.
And that would have been as a result of the asphyxiation?
That's one of the causes for petechiae, yes.
And doctor, did you also complete a death certificate in this particular case?
Yes.
Judge, let the record reflect on Judge Matt's house. Commissioner Approach.
You may.
Dr. Hannen, you listen to previously marked the state's didn't report to the
Yes.
What does that appear to be?
This is the death certificate for Christine Melton.
Is that a certified copy of the death certificate?
Yes.
Judge State would move state system number 14 and evidence.
Objection.
The 11th,
Be the-
I think, maybe, or
I have no further questions at this time, Judge.
Okay.
one second. Is that
Doctor, when you, back in 2019,
yeah, I think it was the 11th.
that's 5 years ago. You just did like brand new medical examiner?
Yes, I had recently started at the District 21 Medical Examiner's Office.
When
Oh,
did you
gee.
start it there?
September of 2019.
So this was 1 month after being there.
Yes.
Did you take, or as part of your protocol, did you take DNA scrapings from under Miss Melton's nails?
We take the fingernail clip-ins where they cut the fingernails, and we put them in the little envelopes.
But you yourself conducting an autopsy are not looking to collect DNA, are you?
We collect a DNA card from the decedent, where it's like a little card with circles, and you put blood from the decedent.
Okay.
We collect the fingernail clippings, which I guess law enforcement would use to look for DNA on their fingernails. We'll do swabs if they request us to do a rape kit, like swabs of the mouth, the anus, the vagina. And if there's any secretions or anything we notice on the body, we may swab that as well.
Did you do a rape kit on Miss Melton?
I believe we did, yes.
And what do you do with that when you're done collecting the evidence?
We hand that over. We sign it, we seal it, and we hand it over to law enforcement.
And just what do you do to use a rape kit? I'm sorry. When you are going to complete a rape kit, what do you do as part of your autopsy?
You mean like how do I collect this? Is that what?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I usually have my technicians assist with that. Before we clean the body, once we open the body bag, we'll take swabs of, so the rape kit usually comes with swabs for the buccal mucosa, it swabs for the vagina, and swabs for the anus as well. So we'll do all of those before we clean or start manipulating the body any further once we get it.
Do you as the doctor do those, or your technicians do it?
They usually do those under my supervision.
Could the injuries to the neck area occur during rough sex?
Some of the injuries, I guess it's possible.
You mentioned various contusions on the body. Were there contusions on the exterior of the body that corresponded to what you found on the internal examination?
So, for example, one of the bruises on the right side of the neck, there was hemorrhage corresponding to that area. Some of the bruises on her extremity, I don't remember the exact locations, had hemorrhage under the skin corresponding to those bruises. But not all of them had a bruise that you could see on the skin over them.
Well, like you said,
We have less than 2 minutes left until we're in Mila's testimony, which I'm really excited. Like, I look forward to hearing this. I'm very interested to hear what she has to say. Now, the poll is at 66% want to watch the interview, because it's the police interview, like I said, so it fits with her testimony. It's what she told police at the time. And then on the stand, that will also be discussed. 30% want to continue with our next witness, which I hate that. I wish it was, I wish that we were a little closer to all agreeing on one way or the other, but it's okay. Feel free to give me your reasons why you would want to continue, and let's keep listening. Like I said, 2 minutes and we get into Mila's.
petechiae. How long does it take to, I think you said those were burst capillaries?
They're burst little venules, so they're some of the smallest blood vessels in the body.
How long does it take for one of those things to burst?
I can't really give you a time frame. That would probably depend on how much pressure you're applying. The higher the pressure, the faster it would burst.
So they could burst in seconds, depending on what's happening.
That's correct.
Okay. Found those on an eyelid. Did you find any in the eyeballs?
She had ecchymosis or hemorrhage in the eyeballs. So I can't say definitively if those were petechia, that they can become confluent. When you have petechia close together, they can kind of coalesce. So it just looks like one big ecchymosis rather than a bunch of petechia. But that's pretty much impossible to say if that's what happened in that case.
And how did you note petechia on the scalp?
When you reflect it on the inside, that's where you see the petechia.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
All right.
Harry, I
Anything
noticed
else
that
on the
too.
stand?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right. You may sit
All
down.
right. Now we're going to go on to
Yes, it's
Mila's testimony.
Stay on the
Oh, actually, we have one in between. How did I not notice that? Because I feel like I went in to listen to like 2 minutes of Mila's testimony. Amy is testifying next. Who is Amy? Then we go to Mila. Amy's only about 10 minutes long. So, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and listen to Amy, see what this is about, and
Hey, ma'am.
Hi,
Please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury by telling them your name.
my name is Amy Slobodzian.
And Ms. Slobodzian, you know a young lady by the name of Mila Montenez?
Yes, I do.
How do you know her?
We've been friends for over 10 years.
Does she have a nickname?
oh,
Mila.
wait a minute. I remember her from the body cam from when Mila was attacked. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the woman that was there and spoke to police, and you guys can correct me.
Now, I want to direct your attention to the 6th of October of 2019. Did you go anywhere that evening?
Yeah, I did. I just recently came back from South Dakota, and I was like, I want to go see some friends, so I went down to the Buddha.
And about what time did you go there?
It was a little after 10,
And about how close to the Buddha do you live at that time?
maybe a mile.
And did you go there by yourself?
Yes.
And when you got there, did you see anyone you knew?
I saw Mila.
Okay. Did you see anyone else?
I saw Wade.
You say, Wade, who is that?
Wade Wilson. She
And
introduced me to him.
do you see Mr. Wilson here in court today? See nodding your head. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Would you please point him out and describe an article of clothing that he's wearing?
He's in the blue suit.
Judge, let the record reflect the witness to identify Mr. Wilson.
All right.
Now, at some point in the evening, did you decide to leave the Buddha?
Yes, I did. It was a little before closing time. I usually leave before it's after 2. And I walked outside, and when I walked outside, I noticed Mila's car to the right of me leaving. And Then I noticed to the left of me at the stoop, Mila was standing there. So I was like, why is your car driving away? And she said, Wade took the car and he left. So I offered her a ride to my house if she wanted to just come to my house because I was right around the corner.
And did she accept your
Yes,
offer?
she did, and she spent the night with me.
Okay. Where'd you sleep that night?
She slept on the sofa.
Did anything happen the following morning?
Yes, I had my bedroom door open and I heard her speaking on her phone saying, I don't know, let me check for a piece of mail and I'll give you the address. And I hollered to her, I don't.
No, the person who was in the car with Christine that night, Lucille, is Stephanie, and she testified yesterday. If you go to the live from yesterday in the description, you'll see the timestamp for her testimony specifically. If you want to go watch that, should be pretty easy to hear without.
No, I don't want him in my house. My son is here.
Well,
I will take you wherever you need to go. Like, if you want me to drive you somewhere, I'll take you wherever you need to go. So she was like, we'll just meet you at my spa.
And you indicated that you
Not
heard
another
the
Amy.
phone being utilized at that time.
Yeah.
How many times would you say that phone was being used or called?
They were talking on and off. It just kept ringing and ringing, and the whole time, the whole ride, all the way to the spa.
So did you feel comfortable with him coming to your house?
Absolutely not. I don't let strangers in my home.
So did you ultimately wind up driving her to the spa?
Yes, I did.
And what was the reason for her to want to meet up with him?
She wanted to get her keys and her driver's license and her car. She wanted her car back.
Oh, Punksy, thank you. Thank you so much.
When you arrived at the spa, was Mr. Wilson there?
So they were on the phone while we were pulling up, and she said, we're going to be pulling up soon. And he goes, I'm pulling in right now. And then it wasn't her car because there was a black car in front of us that was turning and pulling in. So my car was little, the entranceway was here. So I just kind of pulled in and backed into the first spot right there. And the black car was right here next to me.
Okay, so just a brief pause. Antonina, I love your name. It is beautiful. She says another examiner testified with the rod, and you also had another great comment I wanted to read. Shoot, I don't know where it went. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I love your name though. It reminds me of my mom's name. She has a Hispanic name named after my grandpa Antonio. Her name is Antoinette, but we call her Nina. So it's just very cool. I love it. Hey, Ash. Ash says, hey everyone, I was listening and wanted to say, if you live anywhere near where these events took place, you know that the Buddha is a shithole. I'm over an hour away and I know that. Interesting. You're so welcome. You had another good comment, but I couldn't find it. Yeah, black car was Christine's, right, Allie B? That Nissan, right? Oh, here it is. Another examiner testified with the rod, or is that the one I read? I don't know. Yes, it is. Here it is. I love that you're going over the court case. Amy is part of Mila's testimony, and Wade is winking at her in court. When you see him wink, it's towards her. Interesting. Nicole says, yep, she was on the body cam footage. All right, let's keep listening.
Judge, let the record reflect on some Constitution Martin States number 19. Can I approach Judge?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Slobodzian, I'm showing you some precinct marked States Zoom number 19. Ask you take a look at that item. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
What is that?
that's Mila Spa.
Does this photograph here accurately depict
Yes.
Mia Spa?
Mhm.
Judge State move States Zoom number 19 in evidence at this time. No objection.
You admitted?
Permission to publish, Judge?
You may.
So you're pulling into this parking lot and you've gone ahead and parked and you see Mr. Wilson in a black vehicle that you don't recognize as the one he left the Buddha in that night. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So you park and he parks, right?
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. Do you get out of your car?
No.
Okay. Does Mia or Miss Montenez get out of her car?
Yes. Mila got out and went to the driver's side window.
What did you see?
She was just trying to get her stuff, and they were having just words back and forth, and then he tried to pull her in the window.
How did she respond?
She started fighting immediately.
What else did she do?
She wound up falling backwards, and then Wade got out of the vehicle after her, but the car wasn't in park. It was actually still rolling, so it almost ran them over. And then he slammed it in park and went after her immediately. He was ripping her dress off of her. He was pulling her hair. Her extensions were everywhere, all over the ground. And then he proceeded to drag her from the parking lot to the stairs, up the stairs. She was holding onto the banister like a monkey, trying to hold on. And he.
Oh my God, you guys. Thank God she survived. And when we think about getting inside of his head, how in the hell do you do this? And I don't know how you're so vicious like this and in front of people. It's not like you're in private. I mean, I don't ever agree with men beating up on their women. I think it is the most wimpy-fied little punk thing to do, punk bitch thing to do. I truly do. But it's common, right? But in front of people, like just out in the open, is that common? I don't know. I really don't know. He
just kept ripping her more and more to the door upstairs.
She's holding on to the stairs like a monkey, she said, holding on to the rail. Like I can picture it as we talk about it. Absolutely horrific.
How tall would you say Miss Montanez is?
I'm only 5'4". She's shorter than me.
Oh, Wade, what is it, Wade?
How much would you say she weighed?
She's got to be 125 pounds. She's light, little.
What color hair does she have at
Blonde.
that time?
He said, I know what he said, a whole bunch of bullshit. Oh, God, he makes me angry.
Did anyone else see?
There was a lot of people. There was people walking on the sidewalk. There was I don't know if it's an upholstery shop or what it was, but design shop on the corner that has open windows. And there was a lawyer office. It was broad daylight.
Did anyone come to her assistance?
It happened so fast, and I immediately called 911.
When you saw them go upstairs towards the spa, what did you see Mr. Wilson do to
Thank
Ms.
goodness for
Montanez?
Instantly, when he punched her, he dragged her from the lower part of the stairs to the upper part of the stairs. He pinned her up against the wall by his hands on her throat, and then he punched her in her face. When he punched her in her face, her nose exploded. And I don't know if it was sirens in the background or the sound or the blood that came out of her nose.
Oh my God. Remember we heard about this in the opening. He hits Mila and blood goes everywhere. I hear this and I think about all these women who watched the trial or saw the clips of him and now wrote him spending, look at all the money they raised. Look at that shit. It just makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick because let me tell you what, if there is even one of you listening here today, I promise you, he would do the same damn thing to you. Without a doubt, you are not special. You would not be the one that changes him. He would do the same damn thing to you.
Him, but he immediately got into the black car and just started taking off.
Now, was he making any threats to her when he was beating her?
I mean, it was so fast, but he did threaten. He did say, oh, I mean, he said to me if I got out of the car, he was going to kill me.
Say anything towards Miss Montenez?
Oh, he was trying to hurt her. He was trying to get her in the car to get away with her.
Was he saying anything to her at the time that he was beating her and striking her?
It was so fast. I honestly, he was just dragging her and beating her.
After he was dragging and beating her, you said he ultimately wound up leaving.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And after he left, what did you do?
We met with the police.
And did you ultimately end up finding her car?
Yeah. Afterwards, when I was leaving, I live off. You have to get on McGregor to get to the place that I was living at the time. And when I was driving down McGregor Boulevard, in the peripheral of my vision, I noticed the Hellcat. It was almost at the corner of one of the blocks and McGregor. So I called Mila immediately and I said, I just found your car. It's right by the Edison Country Club. It was on one of the side streets on the water side.
And after you found it, did you ultimately wind up giving a statement to law enforcement regarding?
Yes,
what
I
you
called
had?
a friend of mine that he's retired now. He was a police officer. I called him and I let him know I found the car.
Okay. I have no further questions for this rest of this time, Josh.
Hey, Missy.
No cross.
No
You
cross.
Sit down.
Oh, wait, what? You don't have nothing to add? I thought Wade had a lot to say during this. No questions for Amy? Why? How come? Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just aggravated. Like, he's terrible. This entire deal bruises my soul. Why is he allowed to exist? Well, you know what, Christine? He's not. He's not for long. He's on death row. So, if I know that takes a while, but he's nothing but a punk bitch boy clown that would never step to a man like he does a woman. Damn straight. Andrea, thank you for being a member for 22 months. Welcome, Lisa. He is infuriating. Thank goodness Mila was strong. I wouldn't have been able to fight like she did. Man. That's why I come. Mila's story is really heartbreaking. I choked up a bit hearing it. Well, so this is my decision for her interview. Just going to let you guys know. I did put it in the chat. Hey, Jennifer, I'm glad you're here. So we're going to watch it, but we're not going to watch it today. We're going to continue with the trial. I have a list I'm making of things that we didn't see that were referenced or were part of the trial that we're going to watch in a wrap up after we get through. And it's a lot. We got to get through this, the penalty phase, the sentencing, and then we're going to do a wrap up. And during the wrap up, we'll hear the 911 calls that Joshua made from Mateo's Graphics. We'll hear Mila's police interview. We will also get the body cam footage from some of these things. We will also hear some of Wade's interview. And maybe I won't play 100% of each one, but I'll find parts that we want to look at or something like that. But I think that's how we'll do it, just so that it's not intermingled in with the trial coverage. So hopefully that satisfies everybody, because I know some of you guys want to watch it. Some of you guys want to continue to the next witness. This way we can do both. So that's the plan. Okay, now Mila. So here we go. Well, something happens right
This
here.
time, so respectfully be requesting that she be excused.
Any objection?
No objection.
She's excused.
The state calls Melissa Montenez. May I approach the clerk, Your Honor?
You may.
Oh, okay, they approach. That's why. So 1 hour and 2 minutes in for the timestamps. Let me fix the title for Wade's girlfriend at the time. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. I just want you to be able to easily know who we're listening to if you come in and out, that kind of thing. Interesting fact, Mila also worked at the printing and HVAC shop that Josh owns. The first 4 minutes of Mila's testimony has no audio. We are skipping it.
So did you tell him that you weren't?
1 second. The first 4 minutes of Mila's testimony has no audio. We are skipping ahead to when the sound cuts back in. I wonder if that is because they were still muted for the sidebar, or if that was, I'm curious why. Maybe going through her address where I don't know. If anybody knows, let us know.
So did you tell him that you weren't going to go to this house?
Yes, I expressed at least 3 times he was trying to convince me to go to a house I did not want to go to.
So did you end up going with him to
No.
the house? How did he get there?
He stole my vehicle and went.
So did you know he was going to take your vehicle?
No.
How did you find out that your vehicle was?
But leaving the Buddha.
So you were stuck at the Buddha without your car.
And Amy was out there. She was watching it drive away. And she said, "It's okay, come to my house."
So did you end up going to her house?
Yes.
Did you spend the night at her house?
Yes.
Where did you stay?
On the couch.
Now, did you ever hear again from Wade Wilson?
At roughly 6, my phone starts either texting or calling. Around 8:45, I start noticing and I start answering his phone calls.
Okay, so the first calls that he's making or text messages he's making, you don't receive those or time at all?
I was sleeping.
When you first spoke with him, tell the jurors about how that conversation went.
When I first heard his voice, it was, "Where are you? Can I come get you?" I can't really remember, but it was more calm at first.
Okay.
As I started saying, "I want my keys, I want my car, where are you? I need to get them back," it escalated more into name calling and aggression and intimidation.
Okay. Now, let's go to where it starts to escalate. How are you able to tell that he's starting to escalate?
Raising his voice, calling me names.
What names is he calling you?
Bitch, cunt, whore, all these different names. And
I
just,
wish I could make this small.
I can't remember the threats per se, but it was very intimidating,
Did he appear to sound angry?
very angry.
Did you feel scared at this point? Now, the phone number that Judge, may I approach?
You may.
For the record, I'm showing against counsel that's been previously marked as State Exhibit 20. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 20, and I just ask if you look at it and tell me if you recognize that phone number.
That is my phone number.
Okay, and is that the phone number that he was calling you and texting you?
Yes.
And at this time, the state would move 20 into evidence.
Objection. Admitted.
At this time, the state pursuant to a notice of intent to rely upon certification of business records would also move 21 into evidence. If I can show the defense counsel the records for Ms. Montenez. The state would move Exhibit 21 into evidence of business records associated with 239-333-5924 pursuant to a business record certification.
Any objection?
No.
All right, be admitted.
Now, when he was texting you and calling you, did you recognize the number that he was texting you and calling you from?
No.
Had he ever called or texted you from that number before?
No.
Now, did you end up agreeing to meet him someplace?
Yes.
What was your purpose in meeting with him?
To retrieve my car and to get my keys. So, because I was finale, that was it. I wanted my property back to never see him again.
Now, did you believe that he would show up in your car when you
Of
met?
course. That's what he left in. Yes.
So where did
I'm so curious. What do you guys think Wade is thinking as he watches her testify here? And I'm not really caught up on the history because I know they spoke again after he was arrested. But by the time of the trial, they were not speaking at all, right? Because I do know I've seen her in some live streams that were recorded with a man.
did you agree to meet him?
Mila Spa.
Now, when you arrived at Mila's spa, did you see your Hellcat?
No.
Did you see a different car?
Yes.
And was it a car that you recognized?
No.
I'm showing you State's Exhibit 5. Does this look like the car that he was driving?
Yes.
And again, was that a car you had ever seen before?
No.
Now, when you got there, did you get out and try to talk?
Yes.
And again, what were you trying to talk to him about?
I went to the driver's side window. He wrote it down. I said, "Where are my keys? Where's my car?" He was calm and just saying, get in the car. And it escalated quickly.
Did you agree to get in the car?
No.
And when you would not agree to get in the car, how did he act?
Violent, aggressive, tried to pull me in the car physically. And I resisted plank style so that he could not grab me into the vehicle.
When you say you got plank style, could you just show the jurors what you mean by that?
And I was being pulled into the car by my dress.
Okay, so for the record, you just stood up and put your hands straight above your head.
Yes, so that I was not being able to be budged into the vehicle.
Oh my God. So not only is she holding on to the rails like a monkey, while he's trying to drag her, but then very smart. I got to say, that's smart. You can't fit in a car if you're completely straight. Your arms are up completely straight, like locked legs, locked arms, almost as if you're on a pyramid as a cheerleader or something. There's no way he could get her in the car like that. That was freaking smart. And let me read just a couple of your comments about what you think Wade must be thinking. I believe he's intimidating her. Sprinkled Donut. He's calling her every name in the book. Lisa, that he wished she didn't get away. She got him to confess, Stephanie says. Allie B says he's proud of himself. That's what he's thinking, and that he wanted to do more harm to her. And last, but certainly not least, Christina says he's thinking, I wish I would have finished her. My God. He's thinking, bitch, Rachel says. I want to see his facial expressions a little more, though, while she's talking.
And you said he's pulling at your dress.
Yes.
Can you describe in more detail how he's pulling at your dress?
He's pulling dress, probably a little hair, everything, and then the dress starts to rip off of my body.
And what happens after that?
Once he realizes that the threads were becoming, I was getting away from him and he was still holding onto the dress, he opens the car door, obviously forgets to put it in park. The car starts to roll forward. He tackles me to the ground. The car grazes both of our legs and I'm pulled to the ground.
How hard did he push you to the ground?
I'm sorry, I don't recall. This is also fast and he's very heavy and I'm 5'2", he's 6'6", so.
Now, what happens after you are pushed to the ground?
I start to get beat.
Describe what you mean when you say he was beating you.
It all went so fast and so slow, whether it be punches, slapping, choking, that kind of nature. Yes.
Now, you mentioned that the fight is happening around the car. Does
Yeah.
the fight move at some point?
Yes. So I either get dragged, pulled, can't remember, by my hair or arm or dress, I'm trying to reason with him, trying to talk to him, but there's nobody behind those eyes anymore. So there was no reasoning with him. I got
Wow.
to
Wait a
the
minute. Wow, that's kind of interesting. There was nobody behind those eyes anymore, so there was no reasoning with him. It's like she's kind of saying it in a way as if it's maybe happened before. And when he gets this certain look in his eyes, he's not capable of reasoning or thought or conversation. Interesting.
the front of the staircase, and I'm holding on to that.
Yes, Mom.
And
Hey, by the way, I'm so happy to see you. Nobody behind those eyes anymore. Right. That was so, the way she said that. Okay.
a crowd begins to develop. I'm expecting people to help, call 911. So I'm just trying to bide my time at that point as quickly as help can get there. And that's not working either. I'm starting to get punched and grabbed and choked and all kinds of things again. Somehow we move up to the upper level. I'm trying to convince him, let's just go in Mila's spa. We'll talk about it there. We're safe there.
What was your thought process in getting him to your spa?
Elongate the amount of time it took to get help. I was trying anything that I could to expand the amount of time that I didn't have to go to his car. I'd probably never be seen again. It just elongate the amount of time. I knew help was on its way. The cop even said that's the most amount of pings they've ever heard from a 911 call ever. There was a crowd out there.
Okay.
So
you're essentially trying to buy time,
Yes.
hoping police will get there
Yes.
to get you away from
help,
him.
yes.
Now, you say so you're getting drugged by your hair, you're getting drugged by your dress.
Uh-huh.
Are the stairs to the left of the building the ones that the two of you go up?
Yes.
And where do you end up stopping once you get upstairs?
We ended up right outside suite number 6 is where my unit was at the time. And I didn't know whether, in my head, I didn't know whether I was going to be thrown over. I didn't know whether he was going to drag me in and then they would have to resuscitate my body if they got me in. I knew I was going to die that day. I was just buying time.
Okay, so
My God. And listen, you guys, I know people have their feelings. So I've heard people say some not nice things about her. I don't know the story as well as a lot of people. I have nothing negative to say about her. I do believe she's right. I think she would have died that day if he would have gotten his way and gotten her in the car. And I just cannot imagine what that must be like for her to sit there in front of him like this. He's not far from her, maybe 10 feet, if that, right? God, I wish we could have heard those first 4 minutes.
at some point,
When she keeps him out
does
or whatever
he
she does.
does he continue to beat you
Yes.
as you're up there? Does he punch you?
Yes.
Okay,
No, thank you,
describe that
Missy.
punch.
The final and end punch that I remember, he got me so straight on and blood just went crazy everywhere. And it almost was like a minute where I could dunk under and run under his arm, run down the stairs. And that's when my neighboring businesses, the design studio, were calling me, Mila, get in here. And then I didn't even realize how crazy I looked, but they rescued me, and I don't know what happened after that, assuming he left.
So I'm going to stop. So it was the punch. Was that the point that you were then able to duck and to get away?
I think, and also my friend, there was a brief moment where it was just so much blood.
So once you got downstairs, did you go into one of the design studios?
Yes,
downstairs?
directly to the right, you see it on the thing. Looking at it is to the left on this picture. That's where they call me into their side office building.
Okay, so is it this door on the bottom right next to the steps?
Nope. Go over left.
This way?
Do you see the silver car? Go
This here.
that door right there.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'm looking then, you're directing me or you
I'm running down the
me?
stairs. They're calling me in that door.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on the record that it was by the silver car in the bottom left quadrant
Yep.
of the photograph,
Mhm.
there's a door, and it's the door that you went into.
Yes,
And did they lock the door to
Yes.
make sure you would be safe?
yes.
Now, at some point, did you talk to law enforcement about that evening and
As-
or that morning and what
Well,
happened?
they came out immediately, interviewed me, took pictures of my injuries.
Okay.
Um,
And I'm going to, if I may approach, Your Honor.
You may.
For the record, I'm showing State's Exhibit 22. Ms. Montenez, I'm approaching you and showing you 22. Do you recognize this exhibit?
that's me.
Okay, and this area under your nose, is that
Blood.
blood? Is that after it was somewhat cleaned up?
Yes, somewhat cleaned up. Do you see the rag with that full of blood? That's me after cleaning my face. Yes.
Okay, so in your hand,
Mhm.
in the photograph, you're holding a bloody rag,
Yes.
and then you also still have some blood on your face.
Correct.
Hey, Miss Melissa. Hey, what's on the menu for tonight? Or on the yeah, what's going on over there tonight?
And is that from the time that he punched you?
Exactly. Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move 22 into evidence.
No objection.
Give it.
Permission to publish?
You may.
You mentioned he was pulling your hair. Were you wearing extensions at the
Yes,
time?
my extensions were in disarray, somewhat pulled out and stuff. Yes.
Now, do you, as you're sitting here in court, see the person who was trying to kill you and who was battering you that morning sitting in court?
Yes.
Could you please point to him and
Right here.
identify him by his clothing?
Wade Wilson in the blue suit.
Oh my God. We got to hear it. Look at his face.
You and was battering you that morning sitting in court?
Yes.
Could you please point to him and
Here.
identify him by his clothing?
Wade Wilson in the blue suit.
Going to let the record reflect that the witness identified the defendant.
Okay.
May I have a moment?
You may.
Wow. He kind of looks defeated, almost like he did when his dad testified, doesn't he? Who, Kelly? Mila? Best blizzard day ever. Started with Jen Lou, Allie, and then MJ. I think he winked at her. All right, let's go back and look just one more time.
The person who was threatening to kill you and who was battering you that morning sitting in court?
Yes.
Could you please point to him and
Right here.
identify him by his clothing?
Wade Wilson in the blue suit.
Going to let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
Okay.
May I have a moment?
You may.
He's doing like this slow blink that like one eye sort of closes before the other. But his body language, his facial expression, everything, he just looks defeated to me. Now, does anybody recognize anybody in the back? Back here.
Would you just write on State's Exhibit 20 your name that's identifying that this phone number is yours?
Yes,
please?
and not only is this my number, if you Google Mila spot, this is the
Stan,
number.
hold on.
Okay, so
This
let
is
me
my
You have to
business
wait,
phone
ma'am,
number.
you have to wait for a question.
ask you, is this phone number your personal number or your business number?
Business.
Okay, and was the business number the one that he was calling
Yes.
that day? All right, so go ahead and put your name under that, indicating that that's your number.
Okay.
And I have no further questions as kind of a witness.
All right.
Melissa is going to go over Kelly's interview. Good. Yay. I can't wait to see it. Wait, Kelly with the Y. So that's the one from before February of 2019, that incident, right? I would love to see that. That's exciting. And then, hey, K-Love, there was something else I wanted to respond to in the comments. Let me see. I do want to tell you guys we're about to get into the cross. It's kind of long compared to, everyone else. I mean, some of them, they haven't even done any cross. Noelia says, in my opinion, he looks pissed off, like he should have finished the task, as wild as that is. He does. He looks not like he looked with the other people testifying. He kind of looked unbothered. With the medical examiner, he was paying very close attention to the pictures they were putting up. With this one and with his dad, his demeanor changed too, a little differently than this, but maybe he is pissed off. Oh, interesting, Sunday. I didn't listen to most of the jail calls, so my thoughts are only what I've seen at trial. He's definitely a bully, Genmar. Okay. What time? Melissa, let us know what time. Hey, Jeannie. I don't think he likes women, Remy says, for a number of reasons. But the main two, his own mother gave him up for adoption, and I think he battles with his own sexuality. His adoptive family is religious. Certainly possible. Okay, we'll go through some more comments maybe at the end. But again, tomorrow or whenever we do the next one, I will always grab a few comments from the replay viewers like I did today, and we'll start doing that little comment section segment at the beginning. Okay, here we go for cross. I'm sure I'm going to get pissed off and annoyed.
Miss Montenez,
Yes,
when did you first meet Mr. Wilson?
I do not recall.
May we approach?
Okay.
Already? Like what? Okay.
Thank you.
Let's just set it up. Here we go. Right, Kelly, Lisa.
Did you know a Josh Lukic?
Yes,
Did Mr. Wilson reside with him for
I
a
do not
brief
recall.
while?
I do not know the answer to that question.
Wait, what? Isn't that the graphics guy? And he did not say that. Yeah.
When you were at Buddha Bar or before going to
Uh,
it, did were you using cocaine?
yes.
Oh God.
Your cocaine?
Oh.
Who's
Hold on a second.
He,
I don't know why we had a lag for a second, but excuse me. See, this pisses me off. Everybody was using drugs and drinking. That don't have shit to do with shit. You look just rude when you get somebody up here who there is proof they were horrifically abused by this guy. He beat the hell out of her. Blood everywhere. I mean, several witnesses. And you get up there and you ask if she was on cocaine. Yeah, so what? What the hell does that matter? I get sick of seeing this, and it's common. We saw it in Leilani's trial with Danny, and you see it, in other ones too. It's just like, why? You lose more than you gain by doing that, in my opinion, as a defense attorney. I don't like it, but whatever.
he had some.
he being Mr.
Ray
Wilson?
Wilson.
Were you at the Buddha Bar? Were you in a conversation with a older gentleman?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling
I don't know why we're having a
Mr.
weird lag.
Wilson
The internet's
that
not.
he could leave in your car because you were going with the older gentleman?
Absolutely not. Leave with my car, and I was never going to be in a vehicle with another man.
You said he wanted to go to a house.
Yes,
You didn't want to
Dude, look
go
at his
to
hair.
that's correct.
whose house?
I did not know the person. He expressed to me he wanted to go to this guy's house. I didn't know the guy. I didn't feel comfortable. He expressed at least 3 times, and I did not want to go to this house of a person I did not know.
So you didn't know. Okay, so it wasn't. You didn't want to go to the house because you knew what was going to happen, You just didn't know the guy.
I didn't know that person, and I did not want to be in harm's way, and I did not want to go to a stranger's house of any type. No.
Now, the phone number, 239-333-5924, that's your business.
Yes, you can look up Mila Spa, and that is our business phone number on Google. Yes.
That was on the phone.
That is
your phone.
my phone. I have multiple lines. That is one of my lines. Yes.
Okay. Who is John Zakins?
John Zakins is one of my friends. Maybe I was on his phone plan at the time, but then I resumed the number later.
Now, you said that when he called you, about 6 o'clock in the morning?
I do not recall exactly. It's so hard to remember. 5 years. I don't know.
I understand. All right, but at some point you woke up and.
Yes, and noticed I missed multiple phone calls.
Okay, and then you called him.
Yes. Whether I finally answered or whether I called him back is not, I do not recall, but one of those happened, yes.
But you said that he was name calling.
Not at first. At first, he was very like, where are you? How do I meet you? All the normal questions. When he realized that I was perturbed and just wanted my property back, it escalated.
And you said he was very angry.
Yes.
And you were scared.
Yes.
Tess says he's hoping they make Mila suffer here. In my opinion, that's why he looks excited. He totally went from sitting there kind of looking defeated to kind of leaning up in his chair. And yeah, I agree. He looked a little excited to me too.
Then why did you agree to meet him?
To get my $80,000 car back that he had stolen.
The car, but why did you expect him to bring the car? You knew he couldn't drive it.
He was with somebody that had drove it away. Why would he not be able to return it?
You said when you met up with him, you said there was nobody behind those eyes anymore.
Yes, that's true.
What did you mean?
Dark serial killer eyes, where there's nothing to reason with. It's a black hole. You're saying words, you're trying to evoke emotion in somebody, and there's nothing behind those eyes.
Damn, I'm sorry. The way she explained it was like, I believe her. I believe that you have experience with this. You know what I mean? There are other ways to go about it, creative minds. Like I said, it's a common tactic to discredit someone and their memory of whatever they're relaying. I do understand that, but it's just one that I find to be pretty gross and unnecessary. And I don't find it to be super helpful when I could see if it was just Mila's word, right? If we just had, not witnesses, no blood evidence, things like that. If it was just her word, sure, I would understand it a little more, but it's not. So at that point, to me, and maybe to the juries, I mean, I'm just a normal person. I could be a juror any day. It could come across as like, why even go there? But that's just me. Just me. He did put it
Moment, Judge.
Yeah.
Jones said, but you love that, Mila. So I need to know. I know that some people, because I know she talked to him again, but I've heard that was to get him to confess. I don't know the case like you guys. That's why I wanted to go through the trial. I need to hear her say that one more time. But yeah, I'm really curious to learn more about the situation. Hey, Jonesy.
You said when you met up with him, you said there was nobody behind those eyes anymore.
Yes, that's true.
What did you mean?
Dark serial killer eyes, where there's nothing to reason with. it's a black hole. You're saying words, you're trying to evoke emotion in somebody, and there's nothing behind those eyes.
Can I have a moment, Judge?
Yeah.
Y'all hear my dog snoring right beside me? I hope not.
How did Mr. Wilson get the keys to your $80,000 car?
Okay, so I never carry a purse. I carry 2 phones on me.
Wait, this is the one who had the conversations about the victims being. Yeah, is that Melissa? If you're here, the one that we talked about. There's so much, it's hard to remember, like, and put everything together, where he was asking Wade, like, if he slept with them and things like that.
And the flap of my cell phones is this place where I put all my credit cards, all my IDs, everything that I need. And I carry 2 cell phones with me all the time. And I have keys. And often the person I'm with, I say, will you put your keys in my pocket? And that is exactly how he had it. I do it with my husband every day.
So he didn't.
He didn't steal the keys. I asked him to put them in his pocket. I do it with my husband every day.
Burn.
So he didn't.
He didn't steal the keys. I asked him to put them in his pocket for safekeeping. He doesn't know how to drive a stick shift. Why would I assume that he would take it?
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
You redirect.
Nothing for that should be released.
Any objection?
No.
She can be excused. You step down.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Please introduce yourself to the jurors.
I'm Officer Tyler Whitten with the Cape Coral Police Department.
Officer Whitten, how long have you been with Cape Coral Police Department?
A little over 17 years.
Were you working back on October 7th of 2019?
Yes, I was.
Where were you assigned at that time?
I was assigned to Hector Cafarata Elementary School. I was the school resource officer at the time.
Is that school in Cape Coral, Florida,
Yes,
in Lee County?
Cape Coral, Lee County, yes.
Now, did you come into contact with the father of one of the students that day?
Yes, I did.
And what was the nature of that contact?
The parent had previously been into the front office to handle some business, I'm assuming with his student. He ended up leaving the campus. And then several minutes later, he was back in the front office and he said he had retrieved a purse. And my office is right there in the front office, and I'm able to see the people coming in and out of the area.
Did you take that purse from the
Okay, so I think I know where we're going here. Remember in the opening, we learned Diane was walking to work and she had a really bright purse, like a bright colored purse, and she lost the purse in the struggle, I suppose, and someone found it. So this must be the officer, that was the first person to get that purse.
parent?
Yes, I did.
Now, did you look inside to see if you could identify whose purse it was?
Yes, we didn't know. I was trying to identify the owner. Yes, didn't know if it was a parent who maybe, left it on the roof of their car, got distracted and drove out, or maybe it was someone who lived nearby in the area. I didn't know.
Were you able to identify whose purse it was?
Yes, I was able to.
And whose purse was it?
Named Diane Ruiz. Purse.
Now, at that point, did you know anything about Diane Ruiz?
No, I did not. No.
What did you do when you learned the purse belonged to Diane Ruiz?
I asked the front office ladies, the front office staff, to see if it was possibly a parent who had maybe been in recently. They couldn't find anything. Then I started looking through our local police records to see if I could find address, telephone number to be able to try to get in contact with Diane Ruiz.
What happened after you were able to get in contact with her?
I found a telephone number. I attempted it several times, left mail, since I wasn't successful, and the front office was, couldn't find any records of a Diane Ruiz with Hector Cafferata. I found the address was nearby in the nearby neighborhood behind
Oh my gosh, I did it again, you guys. I was trying to make sure I spelled his name correctly. Give me just 1 second. And I cannot find it. I mean, I Googled over and over, and I went to close that window and ended up closing the one we were watching, but right here, just a second. If anybody is familiar and I have spelled it wrong, feel free to let me know. Okay.
if they could swing by the house and see if anyone was there, and to try to locate and see if Diane Ruiz was aware of that her purse had been located.
Did you ever learn that she had been missing?
After the fact, this was before anyone was reported missing. I know the patrol unit spoke to her son, and I also met with the son. And that was, he at the time didn't want to report her missing right away. I wanted to give it a little more time.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yeah.
I'm approaching you and showing you exhibits 23, 24, and 24A. If you would have a look at these and tell me if you recognize these exhibits.
Yes, I definitely recognize the wallet.
Okay. And was this the item that was turned into you at the school by the father?
Purse is not, it's been a little while. The purse isn't jogging my memory, but the wallet definitely is.
Okay, so the wallet that's inside the purse
Yes.
is
Mhm.
you remember that?
And the vape as well.
Okay, there's a vape that was in there.
There's
Okay, there's a vape, and that's in State's Exhibit 24A. And these items, did you look in the wallet to locate Diane Ruiz's?
yes, and this wallet with the G's written on the outside.
So again, the wallet is in State's Exhibit 24 and 24A, and that's where you found Ms. Ruiz's wallet.
Yes.
Now, did you end up turning this purse over to our police department or to her son?
No, I spoke with our detectives just because when the patrol officer initially met with the son at the house.
Tess, would you do me a favor and get the link to their GoFundMe? Because I know you were dropping it in here yesterday. And I would love to keep sharing that. I would pin it at the top, but I have the trial channel pinned at the top. But yeah, thank you so much.
He shared the information that she worked at the Moose Lodge, which just happens to be right across Santa Barbara Boulevard from Hector Cafferata Elementary School. So I decided, let me see if by chance she happened to show up there. Maybe I didn't know how she normally got between house and work. If she possibly had dropped it, if she maybe rode a bicycle and it fell off a basket. I really didn't know circumstances. It was a little unusual. And when I checked at the Moose Lodge, they said she was no call, no show that day, which was highly unlikely of her.
So based on that, what did you do with the purse?
I ultimately, after speaking to our major crimes detectives, just because of the unusual circumstances, but since the son didn't report her as missing at the time, they said I could give the purse back to her son for safekeeping.
Okay, so you ended up turning it back over to her son?
Yes.
I have nothing further and tender the witness.
Okay.
No cross.
All right, you can step down.
All right, thank you.
Wow. Okay. No cross. Now,
Any objection?
I did spell his name
You
wrong.
can be excused as well.
It looks like it's with an E. So now we're going to have Brandon Ward, maybe.
Next witness.
Yes, Judge. State would call in the queue yard to the stand.
Oh,
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Would you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury by telling them your name?
Brandon Quayer.
And Mr. Cuellar, do you know a lady by the name of Diana Ruiz?
Yes, of course.
How do you
That
know
is my
her?
mother.
oh my God. Okay.
Back in October of
Yeah.
2019, did you reside with your mother?
Yes, I did.
Who else resided with your mother?
It would be my sister and then her fiance, Scott.
And is that Scott Hannen?
Yes.
Could you tell me what your mother did for a living?
She worked server and bartender most of her life.
And where was she working at the time?
Over at the Moose Lodge.
How far was that away from the place that you lived at the time?
If it's by car, less than 5 minutes. If she had to walk, maybe about 15 minutes.
And how did she typically get to work?
She usually had an Uber. One of her good friends from the Moose Lodge usually brought her, but I guess she wasn't able to get in contact with him, so that's why she walked that day.
And we're talking about the 7th of October of 2019, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Were you awake at the time that she left?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember what she was wearing at the time that she left?
I believe she was wearing her Moose Lodge shirt with the dark blue jeans and then her black shoes.
What color was her shirt, if you remember?
I want to say it was, I think, a light blue or maybe a dark blue as well, but it's a little bit of a blur because since it was 5 years ago.
About how early in the morning was it that she was leaving?
I want to assume anywhere from 9:30 to almost 11.
Oh my God. I'm just, my heart goes out to him. I feel for him so much, but you know, it's not easy to get on the stand and get up here and speak at all. And especially in a situation like this, can you imagine? And look at what an excellent job he's doing. So
she walked to work that day?
Yes.
And are you familiar with any type of other belongings that she would carry with her to work?
It would only be her purse. Anything that she took with her, it would be inside of it.
Do you remember what her purse looked like?
If I was to assume anything, it would probably be the pink one, but I kind of blurred out that whole memory. So there's only a few things that I can really remember.
All right. Well, let's see if we can jog your memory here, sir.
okay, we're going to pause for just a second. Angela, Wade had an incident in February of 2019 with an ex-girlfriend named Kelly. She did contact police. He, did the same thing to her, literally tried tying her up with their clothes and everything. She contacted police. They didn't take it very serious. They said that she said that they claimed, or they told her, you like it rough, don't you? And things like that. So, we do know there was an internal affairs investigation done into that and why more wasn't done to protect her and these women, and Mila. But he was in prison before that, and that is where his teeth were broken. But he wasn't arrested. This didn't happen until October of 2019. So he was kept in jail ever since then, though. Yes. And then I wanted to read this. Allie B, thank you so much. That's really sweet. Thank you. Allie says, as someone who is currently in the process of getting out of a 15-year relationship with an abuser, the last straw, oh my God, Allie, was him strangling me. I have empathy for Mila. I wanted out of my relationship for the past 10 years, so it's easier said than done. You're so right. I know you are. It's extremely dangerous to leave too. There's a lot to it. And then, I don't know. It depends. Are kids involved? Is property involved? All those different factors as well make it hard to leave. Not only that, it's part of the dynamic between abuser and victim. you know, and there is almost this weird love for them still. It's just very complicated. I understand that. And I'm really proud of you for taking the stand to get out of it, and you don't deserve that. And I hope that you make sure to do it as safely as you can, because I know it's incredibly dangerous. And thank you so much. You didn't have to super chat for me to read that and put it up here. You guys, I really appreciate that though. Thank you. Okay. Let's keep listening.
Or, excuse me, 25. As well as states 23, 24A, and then 24. May I approach?
You may.
Mr. Cuellar, showing you some proof marked the state's exhibit number 25. Do you recognize that?
Yes, of course.
And how do you recognize that?
Ask my mother.
Is that photograph fairly and accurately depict your mother back in October 2019?
Yes, sir.
Judge, state move state's exhibit number 25 into evidence at this time.
Any objection?
No objection.
Be admitted.
I'm showing you some proof marked the state's exhibit number 23, 24, and 24A. Do you recognize those items?
I would say the wallet though, but I don't recognize that purse at all.
No.
It's not the kind of purse that she would walk around with. Truthfully, but the purse and everything in there. I mean the wallet on the inside, yes.
Okay. That's state's exhibit number 24. Is that right?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, state will move to state's exhibit number 24 in evidence.
Here's Diane.
And then we have state's exhibit number 24.
It seems to me, based on what I know, which we'll learn more now about Diane, that could have been anyone. Could have been anyone in his way, anyone he saw out randomly walking down the road at this time. And that is so scary. That is so scary. And if we can take anything from this and better our own lives or protect ourselves, I am dead serious. Women, you need to have a way to protect yourself. Always. If you're out shopping, if you're out walking, if you're out jogging, I don't give a damn. There are so many women who get kidnapped jogging with their earbuds in and stuff. Please listen to me. Get some pepper spray. Get some kind of, those keychains, those defensive keychains. Hell, I don't care if you carry a gun. Protect yourselves. For real. Protect yourselves. And if you get pepper spray, take it from me. I learned in the summer, don't leave it in your car. I did that, and I had it on a keychain, and every time I got in, it was leaking out on my legs and burning the crap out of me. And then, it wouldn't have worked. I had to get a new one and throw it away. But please protect yourselves, because it is damn scary to me that this could have been anyone. She was trying to go to work, just trying to be a productive citizen and do the shit she had to do to take care of her family. And that could be any of us.
And that's a pocketbook that you definitively recognize, is that right?
Yes.
Ms. Cuellar, are you familiar with your mother's phone number at the time?
I want to say yes, if I could take a guess at it.
Sir, just to reflect, I'm showing the defense counsel proves some mark the state's exhibit number 26.
200-3223.
May I approach?
You may.
Sir, I'm showing you some producing mark the state's exhibit number 26. You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And how do you recognize that?
You want me to read it out loud? Or?
No. What is that?
It's her phone number. It's a 239-200-8319. Okay. It was one or the other, so that would be the other one that I couldn't remember.
Judge, this time statement states number 26 in evidence at this time. No objection.
Be admitted.
Square, be so kind as to go ahead and write your mother's name underneath that phone number. Yes, sir. Permission to publish it.
You may.
Did your mother also carry a cell phone
Yes.
on a regular basis with her, sir?
Yes.
Do you know what that cell phone looked like?
To my knowledge, not at the moment.
If I showed you a picture, it would help refresh your recollection.
Yes. I'm going to assume the phone case is pink.
5G, 5H,
What's it?
5B and 5.
5G.
I'm gonna.
I'm going to assume the phone case is pink.
5G,
I'm gonna assume the phone case is pink.
5B and 5.
5G, 5H.
G and H. Sorry.
This is a long testimony, you guys. So
Yes.
I'm showing you some previously marked station number 5G.
Angela, are you part of the kiosk club?
5H. Do you recognize those?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I remember a phone case. I remember that being pink, if I can remember correctly.
I feel so bad for him too.
Is that
Melinda.
photograph 5G and 5H fairly and accurately depict your mother's phone?
Yes.
Judge, say move 5G and 5H in evidence at this time.
Object.
Permission to publish?
You may.
Oh, okay, that's jumpsuit Pablo. Okay.
Square, did your
Sorry.
mother have any identifying marks on her body?
Sorry, you guys.
You mean like tattoos?
Yes.
Yes, she had a dragon on her back.
And did she also wear any type of jewelry?
Rings on her fingers.
Judge, let the record reflect, I'm sorry, defense counsel's previously marked Stacy number 30.
Hey, Samantha. Samantha says, I haven't been watching all day. Has Wade been smirking the whole time? I answered you in the chat, but I thought I should pause and let you guys know. If you haven't watched all day, that or if you just come in, don't rewind. When it's over, if you just wait a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes, I'll have everything time-stamped. So anything that you missed, you can go back and watch. Each witness and the little segment we did at the beginning, the comment section. So yeah, you don't have to rewind or anything. Just I'll make sure to timestamp it for you and hopefully make it a little bit easier. Thanks to Melissa helping me out with that.
D,
Teaching me how.
30I. Square, I'm showing you some previously marked Stacy number 30D. You recognize that?
Yes, of course.
And what does that appear to be?
It's my mother's tattoo on her back.
And I'm also showing you what's previously marked as Stacy number 30I. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And
It's
how do you
her ring.
recognize that?
It's her ring. It's my mother's ring.
And do these photographs really inaccurately depict the tattoo and the ring?
Yes.
Judge, move Stacy number 30D and 30I in evidence at this time. No.
Be admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may.
Oh my God. This must be incredibly hard for him to look at.
Mr. Cuellar, when your mother left for work that morning, did you subsequently receive any type of telephone call, contact from any law enforcement agency regarding her whereabouts?
I didn't get a phone call, but I got a knock on the door about her purse. And then I did tell them that take it over to Moose Lodge at first. And I was kind of worried at first. And then when it came a second time is when I asked them to report her missing.
And what happened after you asked that she be reported missing?
That would be a blur, honestly, after that.
Did you ultimately wind up giving a statement to law enforcement?
I would assume so. I would think so.
But everything after that's a blur.
A lot of it is. Truth.
Why?
A lot of trauma.
Oh my God.
Thank you. I have no further questions for this witness, Judge.
Good. Thank you. Wait a minute. Hold on.
So I just need to ask you.
So you're telling me, okay, we're about to switch witnesses. It's not time stamped. And I was about to say, if this is all cross, I'm going to get angry. Like, I know it's his, let me just preface this by saying, I know it's the defense attorney's job to question the witnesses, make them look not credible, whatever. It irks me to my core when they do that with survivors, right? Like the son of the victim or something like that. I just, it's really hard to watch, but I don't think that's going to happen. For a second, I did, but I don't think so.
You said, what time did Miss Ruiz leave? No.
I don't know correctly though, but I would assume somewhere around from 9 to 11. I don't remember correctly. I was just woken up because she told me to make some ribs for when she came home.
Yes, they do.
So I'm just assume around that time.
Take it way too far.
Closest you can estimate,
Yes.
nothing further.
All right. Anything else?
Not from this witness, Judge, thank you.
All right. You can step down.
Okay. So now we have
Take call the next witness.
Yes, Judge, they would like to call Mr. Scott Hannen.
All right. You may proceed.
Thank you, Aaron. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Would you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury by telling them your name?
I'm Scott Hannen, the fiance of Diane Ruiz.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay.
Mr. Hannen,
Might be
I'd like
tough.
to direct your attention back to the 7th of October of 2019. What were you doing that day?
I was working.
Okay. When did you leave for work?
I usually leave at 6:30 in the morning.
And I'm assuming you left from your residence at the time?
Yes.
Who did you reside with?
With Diane, her son, and her daughter.
And where did Ms. Ruiz work?
She worked at the Moose Lodge.
And where were you working that day?
I was working as a dock worker, carpenter at the time. And sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Who wouldn't be? Who freaking wouldn't be? And what an awkward moment that probably didn't help his nerves at all, right? Like, come on, prosecutor, tell him that's okay. You know, that's normal. People get nervous. It's not something you do every day.
So, yeah, I was working as a dock worker.
You indicated that Ms. Ruiz
Oh, wow,
worked at the Moose Lodge.
Yes.
And how did she get to the Moose Lodge on most days?
Most days, she had our friend who was an Uber driver. His name is James anyway. But I guess on that day he was not available.
Do you know how she got to work that day?
Yes, I know that she walked to work.
Do you know what Ms. Ruiz typically would wear to work?
Usually a moose shirt, blue jeans, and her black tennis shoes.
When you left for work that morning, was Ms. Ruiz still at the residence?
Yes, she was.
Okay, I'm going to go to like 2 minutes without pausing after this, I promise. But so you're telling me that she usually didn't even walk to work? And this is the one day she didn't have her Uber driver? My God. That is just so freaking sad. And look at Wade. Very attentive. Shame on you, Wade. He seems to have an interest, and it's almost like he's like, what's this man like of the woman I killed? What's, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh.
In bed.
And you left for work around 6:30 in the morning, you said?
Yes.
So you didn't see her after you'd left, is that correct?
Nope.
Did you have any contact with her after you left for work that day?
A brief text message. She didn't think I gave her a kiss goodbye.
Had you?
Of course.
Oh my God, you guys. I know I wasn't supposed to pause, but God. My heart goes out to this guy. That is just pitiful.
Direct your attention to the screen. Case exhibit number 25, is that Mr. Ruiz?
Yes.
Did Ms. Ruiz also carry with her a purse when she went to work?
Yeah, she always had a purse.
May I approach the witness, Judge?
You may.
So I'm going to show you some previously been marked, stakes number 23 and 24A. You recognize that?
Yeah, that's a new purse that she had just got.
And what's 24A?
All of her belongings in her purse.
And do states exhibit number 23 and 24A actually depict the new purse that she just gotten, and as well as the items that were contained therein?
I recognize everything.
And Judge, the state would move states exhibit number 23 and 24A in evidence at this time.
Objections. Be admitted.
Commissioner Public Judge?
You may.
Now, Mr. Hannen, you indicated that this was a relatively newer purse.
Yes.
When had she gotten it?
Maybe a week before.
Did she carry a different color type of purse before she'd gotten this one?
I don't remember exactly what color it was, but she had a different purse like almost every month.
So then we have states 24 that contained her the wallet,
Yes, that's her wallet.
and then 24A. That's the wallet as well as the vape and whatever else was inside. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Her vapes and vitamins.
Did Miss Ruiz have any identifying marks on her body?
The only mark that I remember is the tattoo on her back.
Wade just sitting there like, I just wanted to point out, we did hear in the opening statement that she had a very colorful purse that was very easy to identify. So now we got to see that.
330 up on the screen. Is that the tattoo?
Yes, that is.
Did Miss Ruiz also carry a cell phone on her person?
Yes.
Oh, just
You
It's a
described it for us.
ZTE cell phone.
ZT phone?
Mhm.
Okay. What was her favorite color?
Pink. Pink or purple.
I'll show you what's been previously admitted as state number 4G, or 5G, excuse me. Recognize that?
Yep.
What are we looking at in that photo?
That is her cell phone.
Then 5H?
Yep, that's the back of it.
Also going to show you state's exhibit number 26. Recognize that?
Yes, I do. That's her phone number.
I think it was vitamin D, Harley. One of them, anyways.
And lastly, sir, I'm going to also show you, do you recognize this particular state's 30I that was previously admitted in evidence?
That's the ring I got her.
Oh my
And what
God.
did that ring signify?
Our love for each other.
Now, in relation to the distance between your residence and the Moose Lodge, how far would you say that was from your residence?
About a 10-15 minute walk.
Was she known to do a 10 or 15 minute walk to work on
Occasionally.
occasion?
Yes.
Could you tell us, after the last text that you received from Ms. Ruiz on the 7th of October, did you hear anything further from anyone else as to your wife's whereabouts?
Not until around noon when I actually get to my phone because I keep it in the truck as I'm working. lunchtime, I got to my phone and noticed that everybody was trying to get a hold of me.
What did you do in response to everyone trying to get a hold of you?
I immediately called one of the people that was trying to get a hold of me, and they told me the situation. Luckily, my boss was on job at the time, and I told him there's a situation, I need to go.
And did you?
We left immediately.
And where'd you go?
Right to my house.
What happened when you got to your house?
I met with Brandon there, and he told me the situation, and I don't remember exactly what we did after that, but I remember a police officer coming to the house talking to us about her purse.
And did you ultimately regain the purse there at the residence?
I believe it was there when I got there. I'm not absolutely sure because it was 5 years ago. But there was a Detective Jones who came there and, had me identify the purse.
After Detective Jones had you identify the purse, what did you do next?
We actually sat around our kitchen table and he asked me a bunch of questions. And then I guess as soon as we're done, he left and said, thank you.
So in essence, you gave a statement to law enforcement.
Yes.
I have nothing further for this witness, Judge, at this time, except for the fact that the state would move a certified copy of phone records, State's Exhibit number 14 into evidence, 27 into evidence at this time.
I'm sorry, what were the number of exhibits?
27, Judge.
Okay.
How far?
Here we go. Time for cross.
Was the Moose Lodge from the house?
Maybe 2.5 blocks.
And I assume Miss Ruiz would have left through the front door?
Yes, through our front door, yes.
Okay. And what direction would Chief go?
I believe that would be easterly direction.
When you come down the path to the street, you go right or left?
Well, we lived on the corner, so it's a right or left and immediate right.
Left or immediate right, okay. And how long would it take to walk it?
About 10 minutes.
Did Miss Ruiz wear different shoes to walk to work or back versus her work shoes?
Nope, she wore the same shoes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Anything else?
No questions from the state judge. We respectfully request that he be excused.
All right, any objection? All right, sir, you may step down and you're excused.
The state calls Patrick Power.
Patrick Power. Okay. Who is this?
Okay. May I inquire, Your Honor?
You may.
Good afternoon. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Patrick Power.
Mr. Power, where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm from Ireland, but I've been living in the UK for 40 years.
Do you
Oh.
also have a home here in Cape Coral?
Yes, I do.
And where is your home in Cape Coral?
It's 204 Northwest 4th Avenue.
Just want to take a second. I cannot address you guys in the chat sharing just some of the most horrific stories. I'm just so glad you guys survived. I saw Melissa McCoy, Angela. Yeah, I'm just so glad you guys got out of it. I'm so sorry you had to go through it, and I'm happy that you did get out. And thank you for feeling. Thank you for sharing your story. you never know who it could help. And I know that it can't be easy. So I just appreciate you guys. I wouldn't mess with Patrick Bauer, Lorena. He does kind of sound like he should be on the movie Taken or something. Yes, let's all hold hands and give our survivors a virtual bear hug. Absolutely. And thank you guys for sharing. Allie, you too. Jessica, I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years, and he always would hit me in places that wouldn't be visible. Luckily, we never lived together, but he had a key to my condo. I've heard that before, Jessica, about I've heard about abusers making sure to do it in places that wouldn't be seen. Be vigilant, ladies. Also, vet those you deem safe. All that glitters is not gold. Call local sheriff department for personal safety courses. Some are handsome. Study for a carry permit. Absolutely. And again, thank you guys for sharing. Okay.
How long have you had that home?
Since 2005.
Are you married?
Yes,
What is your spouse's name?
Linda.
Back in 2019, specifically on October 7th, were you at your home here in Cape Coral?
Yes, I was.
And was Linda also with you?
Yes, she was.
Now, on Monday, were you doing anything with your wife that day?
We were having breakfast in our lanai.
Did you notice anything unusual as you were eating your breakfast?
Remember the guy when they were eating breakfast who saw the car backing up and going forward and backing up and going forward? That is who we're listening to now. And he didn't realize what it was at first. Remember, but it'll be interesting to hear directly from him. That's just what I remember from the opening statements.
Breakfast.
No, everything was like normal as I was eating.
Okay. And then what did you see?
And then we were probably about 30 to 45 minutes. A vehicle backed out from the lot next door right towards us and then drove off out onto the main road.
Now, the lot that you saw this vehicle leaving from, was that a lot with a house on it?
No, it's an empty lot with a lot of bushes and stuff like that.
And when you saw the car, did you see it back up and go forward numerous times?
No, just the once.
Okay. And when you saw the car, did you know?
Just once. Interesting, because didn't it come across in the opening statements? We know he told his dad he backed up, went forward, backed up, went forward. I had heard the injuries were not exactly consistent with that. But in the opening statements, the way he described it made it seem like he did witness it multiple times. See, this is why I really love to watch the trials, because even articles, even hearing the DA give the opening statement to his case, you don't actually get a good grasp of the facts until you listen to the trial, until you listen to each witness. And I've been listening so closely, sometimes it takes me a few times to feel like I absorb it, but I think with this one, I'm just genuinely so curious and I want the details that I'm able to grasp them a little easier, but that is the way I took it from the opening. Let me know what you guys think.
Notice some twigs and branches.
Yes.
Can you just describe what you saw with the car?
We just see the back of the car, and front you could see from the wiper blades or whatever, and maybe from the grill or the bumper, there were branches sticking out like this on the sides.
Now, were you able to see who was driving the car?
No.
So what was it about the car, about the situation that attracted your attention?
Well, we've never seen a car in it before. It was the first time ever.
Right. Now, at that time, did you think to call the police or do anything about it?
No, not really.
So at some point, did you decide maybe what you saw was significant?
I thought to myself at the time, I must have a look later and see what's going on there. But then we went out somewhere for the dinner. I forgot all about it.
What reminded you of it?
When I come back and the police was there 3 days later.
When you said the police was there, they were at the empty lot?
Yep.
So it took 3 days to find Diane. I do remember hearing on Melissa's that his dad begged him and mentioned her son's out on the news pleading for, information to find her, but I didn't know it took 3 days.
And when you saw the police there, was there crime scene tape up?
Yes, everything was taped off.
Did you learn that a body had been found in that
Yes,
lot?
we found out then, yeah.
So based on that, did you then think it would be important to tell the police about the car that you saw?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
For the record, I'm showing defense counsel states exhibit 28. So I'm going to approach and show you states exhibit 28. Aerial photograph. Are you able to look at that map and see if you can locate your house?
Yes. That's my house there.
Okay. And you're pointing to the smack dab center, and it's facing Northwest Avenue.
Sorry, say that again?
So you're pointing to the center of the photo,
Yes.
and is your house facing Northwest 4th Avenue?
Yes.
All right. And does it appear that there's a car in the driveway of your house?
Yes.
And to just, okay. So at this time, the state would move 28 into evidence.
Any questions? Admitted.
Permission of appellate.
May.
Okay, so you were just describing where your house is on a.
Wow,
Yeah.
Annie, thank you. Oh my gosh. This is exactly what Melissa showed on his door. Remember? And they said they thought that's what it was, but just seeing it here, it is the exact picture he had hanging on his door. Wow. And I knew that. We knew that, but it's just different to see. He's in his jail cell. He's got all these photos hung up. Like he's just proud, reliving it. Like, I don't know. It shows me that this wasn't just like a snapped moment of serious anger and aggression, that he still felt, proud of it and not ashamed. Oh my God. Hanging on his jail cell door. Yep. Jesus.
I'm going to point with my pen. Is this the house
Yes.
where you and your wife
He
live?
is so
Yes.
sick. He is.
Now,
his-
where is the lot where you saw the car backing out of?
From behind the house, from behind the house next door.
Okay, so if I point to where this little red mark is,
Yes,
it was this empty lot behind your neighbor's house?
that's the area there, yeah.
So when you observed this, you were in the back of your house eating your breakfast?
Yes.
You said that you saw the car back out of that lot. Did you see which direction the car traveled?
Yes. It went out and turned to the right, which is north.
Okay, so when it backed out, did it back out to Northwest 4th Place?
Yes.
Okay, and then which direction would be, if you back out, which way would you have gone?
Up to the right, yeah.
Over this way?
No, the opposite way.
This way,
Yes.
okay, so he went right down Northwest 4th Place?
Yes.
And how did he drive away?
Quickly, but not a wheel spinning sort of thing. Drove away quickly.
All right. You have a moment, Your Honor?
You may.
Nothing further. This time the state tenders the witness.
All right. Mr. Oliver.
Tenders the witness. Does that mean they can call them back?
Sir, what time of day is this?
I couldn't tell exactly because
I never
we're on
heard that
vacation,
before.
so we lose track of time. But it would have been 12-ish, midday-ish, or maybe later.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. It was light out.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now, from the back of your house, the car would have been going away from you to come out to
Keep your
4th
eyes
Street,
out for
wouldn't
another
it?
poll.
It would have been
Yeah.
backing away from you.
No, it reversed out towards us. Yeah. From the bushes, it reversed out towards us, and then it drove away from us.
Okay, so someone had asked, I think it was Helen. had asked Helena, excuse me, I said your name wrong, read your name wrong. You know, how was that allowed? And in the photo, it appeared, and this is what Melissa and them said, that it looked like it like slid out. Like, so when it was open, it was slid into the wall. Where it wasn't visible. It could have just opened like a regular door, Jessica. I don't know. I just know that's what they said from the picture. And to me, it did look like it kind of slid into the wall. But I was watching it through the panel, and Melissa has sent me all of that. I'll look at it closer on the computer myself. But Jessica says they mentioned them taking pics is showing that it wasn't allowed. So hopefully they took it down. Well, I do believe that's exactly what the pictures were for. It was to document that it was contraband, so that it wasn't allowed, like you said. So I believe they probably did take it down or make him take it down, but I'm not sure 100% on the door. And then, Rye, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. That was super sweet. Thank you. And yeah, to the members, I put some new emojis for the trial. I have another one I want to make, a relevance emoji. And there is a new series on here for members as well, a short video series. So check it out when you get some free time. Okay. Oh, Angela, awesome. I'm glad you got it. I was just assuming, I don't know. I don't know either, honestly, Jessica. You could be totally right. I had to go back and double check to look at it again, but at the time it did. I could see what they meant, that it slid into the wall. I'm so happy you got that, Angela. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to create a poll
I apologize.
question for you guys.
Could this gentleman step down?
Yes.
Could you please indicate on that aerial photo where you
No, it's
first
okay,
saw-
Jessica. No way. I don't think that at all. I appreciate you guys letting me know that stuff and yeah, giving your thoughts.
Okay, now, where's the photo? Where do you first see the car?
Yeah, that's out from here, and when the exposures like this goes out, then I penetrate them at this angle in the road, and then put that up the road.
Okay, so.
Let me just ask, can the jury see? Okay.
Okay, so the car sort of backs up towards you,
Yes, but directly goes out.
but the rear of the car.
Rear of the car,
Okay.
yes, yes.
And then the car moves out.
Yeah, moves out at this angle. Yeah, it was like through these trees here, and then after the road and up.
Okay, I appreciate it.
You can sit back.
No further questions.
Okay.
Nothing further. I'd ask that he be released from his subpoena.
Any objection?
Objection.
All right, sir, you can step down and you're released.
May we approach her?
Yes.
Okay, so time to go next one. Let's see what we've got next. Finding Diane. K-9 Sergeant Justin DeRosso. Here we go.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Would you please introduce yourself to ladies and gentlemen of the jury by telling them your name?
Sergeant Justin DeRosso,
Sir, where do you work?
Cape Coral Police Department.
How long have you worked there?
Almost 18 years.
And in what capacity?
I'm the sergeant of the K-9 unit.
And were you the sergeant of the K-9 unit back on the 10th of October of 2019?
I was.
What were your duties at that point in time?
That particular day, I was riding as a two-man unit with another officer because my vehicle was being serviced. So while I waited for that to be done, I was just turning around with a traffic officer.
About what time was that?
Late morning, early afternoon.
And while your car was being serviced, did you ask your partner to do anything in particular that afternoon?
Officer Wilson actually advised me he wanted to go check out a undeveloped kind of area in the North Cape. We were looking for the missing female Diane Ruiz.
you became involved in the investigation of the missing person, Ms. Ruiz.
Sorry, yes.
Was that in passing, or was that something that you were actively involved in?
That was in passing. I was not like assigned to the case or anything like that.
So you had some spare time on your hands?
You could say that, yeah.
Okay. And you and Officer Wilson then said, hey, let's go check out this area.
Yes.
Okay. And where did you go?
So along Northwest 4th Place in the general area, but kind of north of Pine Island Road, there was a what would have been a development back during 2005, 2008, somewhere in then, and they had rows put in a pond. And Officer Wilson was like, let's go drive that area and just check it out, because not a lot of people even know it's there. So we just met up over there, and we drove over there. There was another traffic officer in the area, and we just started to drive the perimeter of the lake, which is kind of in this of what the development would have been.
What prompted you to go to that particular location?
Just the general vicinity of where Mr. Ruiz was last seen. This would have been west of the location. Again, we knew that there was officers, detectives out looking for her, actively looking for her. And, we just said, well, let's try this area over here. Again, it was Officer Wilson's idea to really go check that area out. So give it just go drive the area and see what we see.
So how many of you were there looking in that particular area at that time?
So me and Officer Wilson would have been in his vehicle, and then Officer Barkley was in his vehicle as well.
About how long had you been out there searching?
I would say, we were probably 15, 20 minutes, maybe. It wasn't very long.
And then what happened?
So we're driving the perimeter of the lake and just, looking down in kind of the weeds and things of that nature. Saw a single vulture circling a wooded area east. And Officer Wilson and I both looked at each other and said, well, let's go over there and see what we find. It was kind of it was like an undeveloped lot with some trees on it, really, kind of a wooded lot area.
What did that single vulture indicate to you?
Well, vultures usually, is dead animals, dead bodies, whatever. So we thought that might be something to go investigate.
How far away were you at that time when you saw that vulture to the body?
Maybe 2 blocks, very far, 2, maybe 3 blocks.
So you see this vulture in the sky, it's circling. You then getting back in your car and go where?
Well, Officer Wilson drove over up along Northwest 4th.
Just just a second. I have to pause for fair use, but it makes me think about all these cases of these missing kids and stuff that go unsolved for so long, and we wonder, did they wander off? Were they taken? Were they what happened? Summer, Sebastian, and many more. And they've done these very detailed, lengthy searches around both of those children's homes, and you would think that had they wandered off and as much as I hate to say it, maybe gotten stuck somewhere and succumbed to the cold or something, or to the elements, you would think there would be a sign of that. So it gives me a little hope in those cases. I can't help but think of that as we listen, because there are so many, there's so many missing people out there, not just kids, just people in general.
And kind of, again, the lot was wooded. He pulled his, he had a F-150. So we pulled the truck up down into the lot. And as we kind of started to turn north in the northern direction, there is when we both recognized a body in the woods.
About how far off the road did you see the body?
We were off the road, so we had to kind of enter the lot and kind of make that turn before we really saw it. So 30 feet, 40 feet maybe.
So did you ultimately wind up getting out of your vehicle?
We did. Again, we didn't really get very close, but we began to tape the area off. I advised the detectives working the scene or the case. They were on another channel. Advised them what we had located. And again, we just started to make sure that the area was secure, put up crime scene tape, things like that.
So directing your attention to the image that we have portrayed up on the screen, states at number 28. Does that fairly and accurately depict the area in which you found the body there at Northwest 4th?
Yeah, that would not be looking north. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would look east. Yeah, so right there on this lower part of the screen, that kind of loop that's the undeveloped community that we were investigating when we saw the vulture. So yeah, a couple blocks.
So after you went ahead and taped off that particular scene, what did you do next?
We just held the scene and waited for the detectives and other officers to arrive. And then later I returned because obviously they expanded the crime scene and did what they did. We had a mobile command vehicle, and I was just assigned to that for security of the vehicle, of the command vehicle.
And this was on October 10th, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's here in Lee County?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I have no further questions for this witness,
All right.
Judge.
Well, that was quick.
No cross, Judge.
All right.
Wow.
Sir, you can step down.
So now we have
Judge, at
forensic
this time, I respectfully request that Mr. DeRosso be excused.
specialist
And
Jacqueline
Judge,
Fordham.
he can be excused. State and call your next witness.
Judge, state would call Miss Jackie Fordham.
Excuse me. I didn't know we were ending, so I was snacking while I was watching with you guys. But just another warning, because like I said, you guys had asked to be warned. Forensic specialist to me means it could be graphic. I don't know, but that's who we're getting into now.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury by telling them your name.
My name is Jacqueline Fordham, officer of the Forensics and Evidence Unit.
And what type of training experience allows you to do the job you?
I have a bachelor's in science degree from Gulf Coast University in criminal justice studies. In 2007, I was hired on by the Cape Coral Police Department as a forensic technician, which is basically your entry-level crime scene investigator. I was later promoted to forensic specialist, and then in May of 2021, took on the supervisory role.
So back in October of 2019, what was your role at that point in time?
Forensic specialist.
And did you become involved in the investigation of a missing person by the name of Christine Melton?
I did.
Did you also become involved in the investigation of a missing person also known as Diana Ruiz?
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about the investigation that you conducted as it related to Miss Christine Melton. Were you involved with the processing of a black Nissan Versa that was attributed to Miss Christine Melton?
Yes, I was.
Now, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen. I'm showing what's been previously admitted as State's Exhibit number 5. Is that the black Nissan Versa that you were involved in processing?
Yes.
Could you please describe for the ladies and gentlemen in the jury what is involved in processing a vehicle?
For this specific case, the vehicle was towed into our secure evidence storage area. Once the search warrant was served, we photographed the outside of the vehicle, notate anything that stands out to our eye, such as damage or blood, any type of shrubbery, or anything that seems a little bit off or unique to the vehicle. We do a 360 view photography of it. Once that is done, if any additional processing needs to take place on the exterior of the vehicle, that is done as well. Include collection of paint scrapings or blood, or just additional photographs if needed. We then make entry into the vehicle and do the same thing inside the vehicle. So 360, several views of all of the areas of the inside of the vehicle to include the items that are inside of it as well. We then start documenting specific evidence that we need to collect.
So directing your attention here then to what we admitted as states 5A. That would be the back of the black Nissan Versa.
Yes,
And then 5B, that is the driver's side of the black Nissan Versa.
that's correct.
I note that the driver's side door, or at least the window anyways, has plastic wrapped around it. Are you aware of how that came about?
I am.
And how is that?
I was informed that a officer made entry to the vehicle by breaking out that window.
Would that be consistent with State's Exhibit number 5C, which reflects all the broken glass on the driver's side door as well as the floor?
It would.
Remember, we heard this because they wanted to make sure, no one was in the trunk or something.
So inside that vehicle in State's Exhibit number 5D, we have a series of name tags. Those found
Wow.
where in the vehicle?
I believe they were in the center console armrest area.
And then those items would have been placed on the passenger seat in order to photograph them. Is that fair?
Yes, that's one of the seats.
Get your attention specifically what's been admitted as 5E. What's the significance of this particular photograph to you?
That is the glove compartment that is located on the passenger side of the vehicle.
And then, was there anything that was located within that glove compartment?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
what was that?
A cell phone?
It's so interesting, Allie B. Tess, B.B. Bentley.
Would that be one of the same cell phone that's reflected here at 5G?
Yes.
But also direct your attention here to what's been admitted as 5F. What are we looking at in that particular photograph?
This is a photograph of the passenger side of the vehicle from the driver's side perspective. On the right-hand side of the photo, you'll see the backrest of the seat, the plastic piece that goes along the door, as well as the seatbelt of the passenger side of that Versa.
And I note that if one looks closely at this particular photograph, there appears to be some discoloration here on the plastic, as well as some here on the
I see it on the
seatbelt.
plastic.
That is correct. There is staining there, as well as
Here.
if you're sitting in the passenger seat, the right-hand side of that, you can kind of see that area of discoloration on the seat itself as well.
When you noted that discoloration, what did you do with that particular discoloration?
It was tested using a chemical called phenolphthalein, which is a presumptive test for blood. All areas that were just pointed out tested positive for blood.
Did you also search the rest of that vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And did you find anything else of any note underneath the driver's side, or excuse me, the driver's seat?
Yes.
What did you see there?
An additional cell phone.
Would that be what's reflected here in State's Exhibit number 5I?
Yes.
And then obviously the back, which is reflected here in 5.
That is correct.
Okay, just a moment. We had to pause for fair use anyway, but this is interesting because many of you guys, and just a moment ago, okay, I'm aware I overused the word interesting. I need to get it together. I can't. Okay, so just accept me for who I am. But Angela says, what was his defense? That he was on drugs? And a moment ago, I had responded to a couple people in the chat, Tess, Allie B, DB Bentley, and I said, that's interesting. Like I said, I'm aware I overuse it, but I didn't read their comment out because I didn't want to interrupt too much. Even though I think that's annoying for people who aren't watching chat, they want to know what I'm responding to. But they were saying how they had seen all of this before, but it hits differently this time. So they have seen it. I have not. So they may have a different answer than I do, Angela, but as far as his defense goes, I don't know. I don't know. Did they put on a case at all? I think so, at least in the penalty phase, because when I was looking at how we were going to do this, I see that they bring in mental health experts. That could be just to stop him from getting the death penalty, though. As far as in the regular trial for the charges, do they have a defense? They didn't have an opening statement. Do they put on a case at all? I'm not sure. I really don't know. And then Sprinkled Donut, you can absolutely post your email. I don't mind at all. And I think it's great, you guys being there for each other. And yeah, of course. Okay. So I don't know. Good question, though. And I promise I'm going to try to find, I do have other words for interesting. I've looked up in the thesaurus and everything. I'm getting tongue tied. It's just when I'm in the moment, that's just what comes to my mind. Tess says, no, they do not. Jesus. During the penalty phase, it was just mitigation to not get the death penalty. He confessed to the crimes. There wasn't a defense. You know, we've seen like claims of false confessions and coerced confessions and things like that. But yeah, I thank you, Oasis Cat, because that's what I assumed, that was just during the penalty phase. And then Jessica, how could they think he's attractive after seeing this? Good damn question. Good question. Honestly, you guys don't have to censor words like that here. I don't, if I ever run into a problem where YouTube starts giving me trouble over it or something, then maybe we'll change how we do things here. But I've always I like to say the words exactly as they are. I like, not going to say unalived if it's murder, because it hits different. It doesn't. Words are important. I just think that softening them doesn't do anybody any good, and like I said, unless YouTube starts to give me a lot of trouble or something. But according to their terms of service, if it is like factual information, like news, stuff like that, they're a little more lenient. That is the way I understand it. And I haven't ran into any problems. I've been doing streaming for 4 years on and off. This month, I think it makes 4 years. And for the past couple, at least, I've been really at this place where I want to use the exact words for what they are. So please don't feel you guys need to censor yourself. I know like on TikTok and some places they do, because they're a little more strict. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at right now.
Did you also find a Florida vehicle registration within that vehicle?
Yes.
Did you photograph that?
Yeah.
Hey, Nancy.
Cases is number 5K.
You may.
No, that's okay, Angela. Don't you worry about it.
Mark, this is number 5K. Ask you to take a look at that item. Recognize that?
I do.
And what does that appear to be?
It is the photograph of the vehicle registration that I took for the Nissan Versa.
And that fairly and accurately depict the Florida vehicle registration you recovered from that black Nissan Versa at the time that you processed it?
Yes, it does.
Judge, at this time, move state exhibit number 5K in evidence.
No objection.
Be admitted.
Permission to publish?
You may.
Thank you. How long did it take for you to process that vehicle?
It was processed over the course of 2 days, beginning on October 7th and ending on October 9th.
Were you also involved in attending the autopsy of Miss Christine Melton?
I was.
And what was the purpose for you to attend the autopsy?
To photograph the decedent and also collect any evidence collected during the autopsy.
And did you collect any items as it relates to the autopsy?
I did.
Specifically, did you collect a DNA bloodstain card?
Yes.
Judge, let the record reflect I'm showing defense counsel for previous market states exhibit number 15. Commissioner Approach.
You may.
Fordham, I'm handing you some previous market states exhibit number 15. So you take a look at it. How do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize that?
It is the sealed envelope of the blood stain card of Christine Melton that was collected by the medical examiner's personnel and then turned over to me. It is sealed with my initials, 4-digit, and the date of collection.
And is that item substantially the same or similar condition as to when you last saw it?
Yes, with addition of the FDLE lab documentation.
When we say the FDLE lab document, you're referring to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Yes,
And the reason why the Florida Department of Law Enforcement seal would have been on that is because of the fact that you sent it off for forensic testing?
that's correct.
I'd like to direct your attention to October 10th. You have an opportunity to become involved in the investigation of Miss Diane Ruiz when they located her body there at Northwest 4th Avenue.
Yes.
Would you please describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how your involvement came about on that particular day?
I was on duty at the time at the Cape Coral Police Department as a forensic specialist. We were advised by our law enforcement partners that an unidentified body had been located and that they requested crime scene to respond to it.
Did you?
Yes.
And how did you go about doing that?
We had several vehicles respond to include our crime scene vehicles, myself, my supervisor at the time, and an additional technician responded out.
Were you leading this particular case on that particular day?
I was not.
Who was the lead?
Forensic technician Casey Buckner-Breger.
And you were one of the individuals who was assisting and observed and essentially kind of almost supervised in a sense?
Correct. I assisted forensic tech Buckner-Breger in her examination of the scene.
So when you get to this particular location, and I'd like to direct your attention specifically to the screening there, State's Exhibit number 28. State's Exhibit number 28 is an aerial photograph of where Ms. Ruiz was found and a series of tire tracks. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when you arrived at that location, could you please tell us where it was that you essentially set your crime scene vans up and began your investigation?
So we had a vehicle stationed at the house, if you're looking at that photograph, to the left, and then our major crime scene van to the right. We're leaving that main scene in the center. We began processing the scene by just the same way we do a vehicle, taking over photos of the area from all directions, including any evidence or potential evidence that we may find leading up to the actual site. And then we walk into the site and begin to take additional photographs.
And did you do that in this particular case?
I did not do that. Forensic technician Casey Buckner-Breger is the one who photographed the scene.
Did you have an opportunity to observe and review all of the photographs that were taken in this particular case?
Yes.
Do those photographs fairly and accurately depict what you recall her doing and seeing on that particular day?
Yes.
Just to reflect, I'm showing defense counsel's previous marks, 29, 29A, 29B, and then 29C. Board members and previous marks, 29, 29A, 29B.
Okay. I just want to say, Griffey, thank you for sharing that, Griffey. No, do not. I feel like shit I'm even talking because I don't care about that. I don't care about that at all. Please don't feel like that. Nobody, look, you guys can opt in to win gifted memberships, but just being here is really what means the most to me. I mean, I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate every membership, everything, but also I appreciate, it either way. Just being here and joining the conversation is really what means the most. And I don't ever want you to feel that way. I'm so sorry you even feel that way. And thank you for sharing. I know it's not easy because it's such a sensitive time. I'm not going to read that particular one out loud. But I just want to say, you can email me at any time. I'm going to put my email back up on the banner at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, I don't ever want you guys to feel that way. Let me get that email up. Where the heck? Sorry, you guys. There we go. It's just my name. Send it to alexerickson@gmail.com. Yes. Regardless of membership level, I appreciate my members. Don't get me wrong. That means so much to me too, that you guys support me like that for real, and my interest and my dreams and what I want to do. Because yeah, I have a lot of them and big ideas, and it means a lot to me, you guys supporting me. But I appreciate everybody who's here. I appreciate everybody who's here and not even chatting. I understand sometimes we just don't want to chat, and that's okay too. But don't ever feel like I think of you any differently if you can't afford to join or something like that. Okay. Oh, always Street. This chat has been silently healing my soul. It's a freaking awesome group of people. See, Pinche, as someone who isn't monetized, I can tell you that I love my chatters. Hello, Alex. I am 2 hours late. My apologies. I'm replaying it now. So if I say something a little out of turn, just know that I'm watching from the beginning. Thank you, Music Cage. Conspiracy Realist, it's too bad that she's probably already rewound, because I would tell her about the timestamps. The phone calls are just so gross. I listen to the not so gross ones. Oh my God, his laugh just like, ugh, it makes me twitch. For real. It's terrible. He's sitting there so calm, like it's just another day. He damn sure is. Allie B from Tennessee, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Wow, what a wholesome chat, brings joy to my heart. I'm telling you, I often say it, like the chatters, they bring so much more to the table than I do, for real. Educated, hilarious, kind, loving, experienced, seasoned. Just, you guys are the bomb. So thank you all for being here and for sharing. I have phases where I want to chat, LOL. Appreciate you covering this trial. Me too. Oh, thank you, Diana. That's super sweet. All right, let's keep listening.
Can I see that? Can you take a look at those? You recognize those?
Yes, I do.
And what are those?
Are photographs of the scene located on the photograph that is on the screen.
And do those photographs fairly and accurately depict the scene that you observed on October 10th of 2019?
Yes, I do.
And those photographs are one and the same that Ms. Buckner-Brager took on that scene that you had an opportunity to review.
Yes.
Judge State would move Stacey 29, 29A, 29B, and 29C in evidence at this time.
No objection.
To be admitted.
Commissioner Approach.
You may.
Commissioner Polish.
You may.
Starting with some previously admitted Stacey.
Look at him watching.
Ms. Fordham, what are we looking
Photos.
at in this photograph?
This is the scene specific for where Miss Ruiz was found. If you're coming from that main street, this is into that field a little bit and to the left. It's where two bushes kind of merge together. Towards the right-hand side of the screen, you will see an image of the body that was located.
Was this body noticeable from the street?
No.
So it appeared to have been tucked away?
Yes.
And the only way you would have been able to observe this body is how?
You would have had to walk into that field, directly look at that bush.
So what we're looking at in 29A, what are we looking at there?
This is an additional picture of that scene, a little bit closer in and slightly to the left angle. The body is now located on the left-hand side of the screen.
29B.
Again, walking a little bit closer to the scene. The body is visible at the top center of photograph, and underneath or closer to the bottom of the screen, you'll see one black shoe.
And lastly, 29C.
This is a photograph right next to the body that was located.
Thank you, Sherry. That is super sweet. I appreciate that for Griffey. Here's a free month. I hope, did she get, I was trying to get her with the gifted ones. YouTube gives us those, 10 a month, and I'll try to do 10. I'll do 10 more this month. I just tried to do 5 more, but apparently I've got only my PayPal hooked to it, and I just can't do it out of there right now. So maybe I can get her with a gifted one, but that is really sweet. And if not, Griffey, you can reach out to me, and I'll send you the money from me and Sherry here from Sherry for a membership. So that was really sweet, Sherry. I'm sure we can find a way to make that happen if you just shoot me an email. And thank you again, Sherry. Hey, Shauna. Okay, this is a part that I think deserves a little bit of respect. So let's just keep listening, and I'll try to cool it with the small talk for a minute.
In the position that she was located in.
You're missing a shoe?
She was.
Was Ms. Ruiz immediately recognizable?
No.
Why not?
She was in a advanced stage of decomposition.
What do you mean?
If you look towards the center of the body, the belly area is bloated, showing the gases of the body starting to get larger and larger, which will expand the body itself. Her hands were very deteriorated. The skin was already starting to slip off, and her face was not recognizable. There was a very large amount of bug activity located all over her body as well.
Oh my God.
When Ms. Ruiz
You monster, you did that. You did. And I will acknowledge you guys in just a moment. The Christina and Lil Red, I thank you and I appreciate you. But I want to say a better thank you in a moment. I want to keep listening to this, but look at him as he listens to this. Like, this is what you did, you monster. And I am so sorry for her family to have to hear this. And it's just,
discovered
you are disgusting.
and recovered, was the medical examiner's
Literally
office
made
ultimately
me sick.
notified?
Yes.
Did they arrive on scene?
Yes.
And did they ultimately have Ms. Ruiz removed from the scene?
Yes.
Did you touch the body at all while it was out in the state of composition out near the shrubs?
Sorry. No.
What did you do after you photographed Ms. Ruiz in this state?
The medical examiner responded and took custody of the decedent. The area was searched once the body had been removed and additional photographs were taken. And then the scene was cleared once our investigation was complete.
Now, did you ultimately wind up attending the autopsy of Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Obviously, same purpose that you attended Ms. Melton's autopsy?
Yes.
And when you attended Ms. Ruiz's autopsy, did you also collect bloodstain cards?
I did.
And that also direct your attention to when you processed that vehicle, did you also collect and take a blood sample swab of that vehicle as well?
Yeah, multiple swabs were collected.
Okay, I think this is a good point where I felt rude. I don't want to interrupt that. And I want to tell you guys, thank you. You're so good to me. I really appreciate it, but I don't want to be inconsiderate either. So thank you, Lil Red, for 14 months. I cannot believe it's been that long. Time freaking flies. And I love and appreciate you and Adrian, you too, and all the mods, because I saw your message. something, Allie's a hot mess, love you, or something. Yeah, and I just appreciate you guys. Thank you for the help, and thank you for the membership, Lil Red. And Christina, thank you for gifting a membership. And Kimberly, thank you for gifting 5. Oh, maybe we'll get Griffey like this. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Let me know if she did. If not, like I said, I don't want you guys to keep trying to get her and not get her. That would suck. So if that's, like, she can email me and I'll try to find a way to make that happen. DB Bentley, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that so much. And I love the name. Bentley is a name near and dear to my heart. And then Lil Red, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. That's super generous. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you all. What is he looking at? I was wondering that too, Harley Quinn. Like, is he looking at his lawyer? It's kind of the way it appears. He's looking at his wives. Evidence photos over on that side, like, it kind of looks like it's in the opposite direction of where the photos are. No, he's not really married to them, Running Bear. It's just like I guess it's kind of like a term social media who came up with it? I don't know if social media did or they did, but it's like, to me, it kind of seems like the idea of like those men that have multiple wives because he has all these different women. I don't know for sure. Jessica, yeah, like I said, if you just hang out with us here, soon as the live ends, if you give me 10 minutes, you can go into the description and there will be timestamps. You just have to click where the letters are blue and it will take you directly to each witness that is timestamped. And I put their name and a brief description of who they are. Okay. No, Hickory, don't you be sorry at all. For real, you guys. I just appreciate you being here. Just don't even worry about that. I just want, please don't feel like that. Hey, Alicia, I understand. I have those days too, but thank you for being here. Alicia's a silent chatter today. Okay. Adrian. Oh my gosh, Kimberly, you gifted again. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. It was really nice. Thank you. And then Adrian, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are really sweet. This community is amazing. I love to pay it forward when I can. He's posing. Yeah, he's so foul. I'm sorry, but I object to killers being able to marry in prison. I mean, what the F is that about? Yeah, I don't like it either. This is not a pro-Wilson channel, Elliot Jameson. No, sir. Absolutely not. Yeah, polygamous. Thank you. See, Carter, that was the word I was looking for. Sometimes I get like, I'm an anxious person and I overthink everything. And like sometimes when I get inside my head or I don't know, when I get anxious about something, I can't get my words out. So welcome to my channel. Like I said, please accept me for who I am. Excuse me. Even though I can't get my words out and overuse the word interesting. No. Okay. Lil Red, I wish I had that command. I don't know it, so I need to get with Melissa and get it. I object to prisoners having tablets. Isn't the point to go without the benefits of the outside? I know. I know. I think about that with Letitia all the time. You're sitting there on a tablet somehow, able to sell your sweatpants on eBay through whoever I'm sure she was texting somebody. I don't know every detail of that, but you're talking about renting movies. They can rent movies. They just have to pay a couple dollars. It's these for-profit prisons too. That's a problem because shit, who cares about earning a couple dollars or who cares about, don't give them that stuff. The radios, they can pay for specific songs the same way they can movies. And they can order KFC. You can send them these really nice meals, at least at the prison Letitia's at, pizzas and just all kinds of different stuff. I object to all that shit. I mean, if you're in there for more petty stuff, I don't have as much of a problem with it. But when you brutally murder 2 women like this dude did, the last thing you should be able to do is sit on that damn tablet and email all day, every damn day with a bunch of women. That's the last thing. You are a predator. It's not right. And who pays for the tablets? I'm really curious about that. I mean, wouldn't the state pay for them? So the taxpayers? No, hell no. Or when you murder a child, like Gannon Stout, like what Letitia did to him. I mean, my God, that poor baby, man. You do not deserve the luxuries of having a damn tablet. Okay, I'm okay with you getting like 1 phone call a day or something. But otherwise, no. It's infuriating. That's what I did my FOIA for. All of his tablet purchases. Private prisons are all about revenue. Yeah. Even the state prisons, a lot of them, I mean, they contract workout. They do really cheap labor and, they do. There's a bunch of different. I'm sure if we got into the nitty gritty of it, it would not be pretty. Nope, they should have to sit in the big room in the middle of the pod and watch a VHS on the old school box TV. Yeah, Wade has a TV. Not freaking surprised. Not surprised. Oh my gosh, I wish I could post a picture. I have 3 little snow twisters blowing down my street. It's kind of cool in a sucky way because it's snow. But no, that's cool. I love Melissa Jade. Found your. Oh, I'm glad you're here too, Mama Bear. I love Melissa too. She is a dear friend of mine for years. We go back years at this point. And yeah, she's one of my best friends. I appreciate her sending you guys over, though. She did not have to do that. Very kind. Regarding the tablets, free prison tablet programs rely on predatory contracts with juggernauts of prison industry, Inventive and Global Tail Link. Wow, Remy, that is super. I would like to actually get into the nitty gritty of it. Yes, Jahira, exactly. Another way to support me or your favorite channel is by pressing like and sharing with others and being part of the community. Thank you. You can send food to Letitia's prison. So they have a program where you go online and I can show you exactly the website and you get to choose from like 4 different dinners that you can send to your inmate. It is a program that is contracted through the prison and you absolutely can. Now, I don't know about sending like food from the outside in through the mail. Of course, I'm not sure you can't do that. But this that I'm talking about is like a company that's contracted through the prison and you pay like, you go on the site and order whichever meal you want for your prisoner. And then, yeah, they get it. So she can get pizzas. Yep, she damn sure can. Matter of fact, I'll try to find it while we're listening and show you guys. Let's keep going because we're just about done with our testimony from today.
Fordham, I'm handing you entries marked as number 32 and 33. So you take a look at those items. Recognize those?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize those?
They are sealed blood stain cards collected from the autopsy of Ms. Ruiz, as well as the sealed swabs collected from the passenger door of the Versa.
Now, the bloodstain card, is that states exhibit number 32?
Yes, sir.
Is that substantially the same or similar conditions to when you last saw it?
Correct, with the addition of the FDLE lab stickers.
Okay, and once again, that would indicate that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement had reviewed this particular item?
Yes, sir.
And you asked that it be forensically examined?
Correct.
And states exhibit number 33 is what?
The blood sample swabs from the passenger interior door of the Nissan Versa.
And is that item in substantially the same similar condition as to when you last saw it?
Yes, with the addition of the FDLE documentation.
And lastly, that's due to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement having reviewed that particular.
Correct.
And that you have sent it off to Florida Department of Law Enforcement to have it forensically examined.
Yes.
I have no further questions for this witness at this time, Judge.
Any questions?
Did you yourself or someone under your direction, were there any pictures of tread marks, iron marks, anything?
There were photographs of the tire impressions in the grass leading up to where Miss Ruiz was located. The grass was somewhat tall. It wasn't cut. And so actual impressions that would be able to be cast would not be possible, given that there's impressions mean like sand. So you can actually get an impression this is grass. So it would just be a visual kind of line that you'd be able to observe.
Did you take any swabs from the exterior of the vehicle?
Yes, there were multiple swabs collected from the bumper area of the vehicle.
And what happened to those swabs?
I'm not sure if they were ever tested, but they were collected during the search warrant.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
No questions, Judge. Thank you.
All right, you can sit down.
Thank you.
Take on the next witness.
Okay, 1 second. Tomorrow we'll get into her
So likely that
Diane's autopsy with Dr. Coyne. But okay, so I found a couple things. The first one, so the way I found this was I heard Letitia talking on the phone about care packages, and these were on her jail calls, so in El Paso County. I'm going to show you what you could get there, but wait till I show you what you can get in the Kansas prisons, okay? Just for some food for thought. So let's go over to my channel, because the El Paso County jail one I posted on my community tab, and go to the post. And then let's see. Oh my gosh, Firecracker Babe, sleeting in Raleigh. Wow. It's shocking what they're allowed to have in there and what they can get once you really start to look. Okay. And I'm sure what Wade can get, you know. And actually, I know that they've went through some of the things he's purchased on commissary. Melissa has. And I think Tess was with her. They did it together maybe. I can't remember. I don't think I was there for that live. Maybe for some of it. But I'll see if there's any special programs like what I'm about to show you for the prison that he's at. And I'll let you guys know tomorrow. I saw the poll results were leaning towards 5 o'clock. So I think we'll be here tomorrow at like 5 o'clock to get through some more, because we'll be going through the week. It's going to take a little bit to get through the full trial, but I do want to go through everything. Including the sentencing, and then that like at the end roundup of all the different things we didn't get to watch. So I've learned a lot though, and thank you guys for being here with me and going through it. Now, like I just feel when I was listening to Melissa reading the emails and going through all the things, like first I started just going, I didn't really have an interest just to support Melissa, right? And then, you know, it's after hearing some of that, it really made me interested in it. And then now I feel like I know more. I just felt like there was so much I didn't know. And still there's a lot, you know, we have to get into Diane's autopsy tomorrow. And I really look forward to hearing from the doctors who looked at his brain. We're going to hear some of that too. Okay, we are almost there. Here we go. So here are the options for the dinners you can send inmates in El Paso County Jail. Let's look. We got... Come on, man. It's not wanting to load for me. And the internet, like, I think this has to be StreamYard because my internet has full bars right now. It's frustrating. Let me reload this. Okay. Well, you can get carne asada tacos, chocolate milk, pepperoni pizza for $13, and a large cheese pizza for $12. And you can send those to inmates in the jail. But look at this. This is Union Supply Direct, Kansas, where, oh, hold on. Okay. Where family and friends can order a monthly package for their loved ones incarcerated in the Kansas Department of Corrections. Monthly packages consist primarily of food, drinks, hygiene items, and much more. The items presented on the shopping pages are pre-approved by the Kansas Department of Corrections, so you can shop with the assurance that everything we make available is approved. So if you look here, look at this. Skittles, Airheads, Captain Crunch. I mean, what the heck? That is so frustrating. Let me just do a quick search and let's see what we can find for Florida. Hold on. Florida Department of Corrections care package meals for inmates is what I'll search. I'm sure it's going to piss me off, so it might piss y'all off too. Okay. So we have this Florida Food Private Package Program. Maybe we'll look at that in a second. Quarterly program, the Global Tel Link, care packages to inmates, correctional court pods. Let's look at this first one. Doesn't seem to be as many options as there are in other places. Florida Private Facilities Food Program. I think this will take a little more time than, let's see. I can go back over here for just a second. This also looks to have, it has Velveeta, cookies. Can't see the rest, which I know they can get a lot of that in commissary. Let's see what this is. Care packages to inmates. Cheaper 99. Care packages to inmates. I don't think all of these, yeah, this is just a, I wouldn't be surprised if Florida doesn't have as many of those options. iCare allows you to send a care package to an incarcerated loved one, so that's another one. Oh, inmate menus, Florida Department of Corrections. Let's look at this. The department prepares approximately 230,000 meals per day. The meals are produced in 123 kitchens located in major institutions, annexes, work camps, and other facilities throughout the state. So my mom used to work out of prison. It was federal, but when I would go up there, you know, I would see they had a medium security one, which of course was behind razor wire and that kind of stuff. And then they had another one that was a camp. And those camps, there is like, they can come and go as they please. I mean, they can't leave the premises, but like in and out of whatever buildings and that kind of thing. And there is no gate. So the department utilizes a 4-week cycle master menu that meets the dietary reference intakes established by the Food and Nutrition Board of the National Academy of Sciences. The menu contains many entrees and other menu items such as vegetables, cooked dried beans, and desserts to provide food items to meet the nutritional needs of the inmate population. So this is just their regular menu in there. Let's see. Here's the master menu. Wow. So October 2024. It gives us an idea. Let's just take a look for a second. So Monday, this is in October, but they had cinnamon brown sugar oatmeal, pancakes, fresh fruit, coffee, breakfast beverage, syrup, sugar, margarine. The next day, sausage patty, oatmeal, butter drop biscuits, coffee, juice. So they're going to feed them pretty well, at least on the menu. Now, just because it says it's on the menu doesn't mean the prison is giving them that. And doesn't mean it's good food. But they have to legally, kind of like a school lunch thing. They have to give you so much of carbohydrates, so many vegetables, whatever, that kind of thing. So much dairy on each one. But I'll see what else I can find. I enjoyed the food in prison. It was always fresh vegetables from the house squad. Oh, is that like people, is that like the inmates that had the garden there? Like in Orange is the New Black? Some prisons, they say a lot of prisons are a lot better than jails. I don't know. I hear that Wade is having a worse time in prison, a bit of a harder time than he did in jail. The minimum security prisons here, the men and women work at McDonald's, Hardee's, etc. Wow. New York used to let families just go shopping and send whatever right from home, but people were sending lots of contraband, and they banned that. Union Supply became the go-to and is very popular. Oh, okay. Interesting, Trev. No wonder they banned it, though. I'm not surprised. Hey, Amber. Hey, Debbie. Well, you guys, I think we're done for today. We're going to keep going tomorrow. We'll start with some tough testimony. Once again, it's going to be, the medical examiner talking about Diane. God, today was tough, though. Her fiance and her son. My God. I didn't even know that there was a fiance or anything. I didn't know. That's why I wanted to watch the trial so I could catch up. But if that didn't grab you by the gut, man. But I appreciate you guys learning with me and going through it. And thank you all. Just thank you all for everything. For real. I would be a terrible prison wife. I am not sending that bad boy a thing. Have you guys ever seen those groups like for these like inmate texting apps? There's Facebook groups that's like made for women to find out if their husband who's in there is texting other women and stuff. I got one advertised to me after I started like looking into Letitia's texting app and everything. Ooh, Ash was born and raised in Palm Beach, Florida, and I love it here. Awesome. Probably pretty nice compared to a lot of the country and snow and frozen today. Candace, this is, let's see. It's the prison. So Department of Corrections. Their master menu. I guess they have 4 weeks and they just keep rotating through. Is kind of the way it seems. Like for lunch, here's a lunch they might have. Peanut butter and jelly, pasta salad, carrot coins, bread, brownie, fortified tea. Now I can tell you the menus that we were seeing for Letitia, apparently the inmates were saying they weren't getting they were supposed to be getting, what the menu said. Now I don't know if that's true or not. Their kitchen was under construction and Letitia's a liar. So here we have a dinner. Turkey hot dog, pasta and cheese. Damn, they even give you a turkey hot dog, like a healthier version. Dried beans, creamy coleslaw, bread, cookie, mustard, ketchup, fortified beverage. So milk or some kind of juice with added vitamins because they legally have to get so much nutrition in you. Garlic herb biscuit with melted margarine. Shut up. My God. I mean, look, there are people in prison who haven't committed violent crimes, and you always got to remember that. I have to keep that in mind when I get frustrated with the prisons and stuff and giving these murderers all these privileges. I have to remember, hey, there's a lot of people there who maybe they didn't pay their taxes, maybe whatever. maybe they're on drugs. And I have sympathy for those people, you know. But food deliveries to prison, you couldn't make this shit up. They likely bleed their families dry for this. Well, we know Letitia does. All right, you guys. Yeah, right, Eve. But besides this, they can get stuff ordered at a kiosk. I'm going to let you go. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Melissa has a live this evening. She's going to go over some of Kelly's stuff. I'm excited for that. Thank you, Diana. Okay, so when this live ends, if you want to catch up, give me about 10 minutes and I'll have all the timestamps in the description. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining the discussion. Thank you for learning with me and along the way. Thank you for teaching me things. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for sharing your stories, which I know that can't be easy. Yeah, thank you for everything. And I hope you guys have a great night and I'll see you tomorrow.